Hello everyone, welcome to the yearly ranking all of my songs that I've ever made in the year 2023. Like last year, this is a completely unedited video. I'm currently live streaming on my twitch.tv/rustage_, and you can see the Twitch chat here saying all their fun things. But this will just be uploaded. I'm not editing this. At the moment that this stream is finished, I'm uploading it onto YouTube immediately with no editing. So if there's anything that happens, that's just the way it is. And I'm going to go through every single one of my songs I made this year. I'm going to listen to them again, and then I'm going to rank them. And I'm probably also going to talk about them and, you know, what went into making them, why I like them, why I don't like making them. The first song that I released this year is OP, but at the end of the last one that I did, the 2022 ranking, I did rank OP already. I've already talked about that one. That was on the last one, so go back to that one if you want to see what I say about OP. But I did perform at NPC, and that was a lot of fun. Okay, so the actual first song that I'm talking about today is going to be, also shout out It's Reaper, he's done the tier list for me again, which is very appreciative. The first song is actually going to be the One Piece Marine Cipher, and I don't know if I can rank, did I rank Ciphers last year? Have I ranked Ciphers before? I feel like Ciphers, I love Ciphers. I've said this so many times. I enjoy making them because I really like listening to lots of different people rap on a beat. And I particularly like this one because it's fun, it's upbeat. It's like hey. I hope the volume is a good level.
But the stick swinging like pinatas. Live larger, go up a notch like a script Java. Think I'm no admiral, but I spit lava. Ringmaster, sword repping like King Arthur. Dropping in the arena, big bodies like the Avida Ragabi, but not Avida, but London. Do for my teacher, I'm dominant with the.
For those who don't know, Kobe is my favorite One Piece character of all time. I'm a huge Kobe fan. I love that he has. I'm a fan of good Marines in One Piece as well because I find them really fascinating and interesting. But I really like Kobe because he goes from being like this weak little kid and he works towards his goals, and his story really runs parallel to Luffy's, and I relate to Kobe a lot. I don't know. Kobe just feels like if I was in the One Piece universe. But yeah. So when I had to write this, I was like, oh god, genuinely, I felt so much pressure to write a good Kobe verse because I'd been saying he's my favorite character for years, and now I have to write a Kobe verse. This is part of the reason I made this entire cipher was to give myself the opportunity to write a Kobe verse, and now I knew it had to be good. But I think I did okay, and I think I did okay. I actually think that everyone on this cipher did a really, really, really good job. I can't really think of that many verses that I disliked, and it's just sort of a ranking of my songs. I can't just go over, but every person's verse in this. But I think almost everybody on this cipher did incredible, and so it's one. I think a lot of people didn't like this cipher because they thought the instrumental was weird for a cipher, but I really liked it. I'm gonna stand my ground on it because I think this like upbeat sort of instrumental just added this like fun little thing to it, and I really liked it. I liked it a lot. Have that bum bum bum. Anyway, we're gonna shove it in A, only because I don't really know what to do with ciphers. I don't think I could ever really put a cipher in S tier because they're just not songs. Really, they are songs, but it's difficult to I don't know if I'm making any sense, but it's difficult to... It's like comparing apples to oranges. Anyway, Beerus time. So this song, I don't actually think performed that well. I don't think I have that big of a Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball S audience.
You don't want to talk to a man like that. Hey.
But the sort of idea behind this song was I wanted to make like a fun upbeat kind of grime track. Grime track? Drill track? I don't know. I just wanted to rap. And I felt like Beerus was the person suited for that sort of rap. And I got Contrast on it because I think Contrast is an incredible rapper. And he very rarely features on a lot of stuff. So I feel very happy to have him on this. And actually, I think I got Contrast's verse before I finished my verse. And when I got, you could tell more people, the replayed it's telling a story in itself that more people definitely care about listening to Contrast verse. But when I got his verse in, I thought it was incredible, and it really made me go, oh, I gotta do my best.
To leave, I trap rats. Bitches wanna speak and speak, they're gonna beef with me. I'm finna keep it brief and slap back. I ain't needing weeds to teach you that sad. Moving like I'm Shiva, see the hands clash. Never gonna keep the peace, I got a piece to keep with every tree I leave a hangman.
E to E to the E to E to the E to E to how did the rhyme scheme?
Put them in a litter box, I'm scooping dudes. I'm switching on a city block like Rubik's Cubes. And then we doubting in a god, I'm moving proof. Cause I'll be walking over you like Puss in Boots. I'll be running tracks like Looney Tunes, crack like Fruity Loops. Man so future proof, no dog, but I snack like Scooby-Doo. Oh god, cause I pack like superfood, stacked them through the roof. They gon' worship my image, hurt them so purple, they turn to a grimace. Bow down and service, my work isn't finished, what you've done with your...
I wrote this verse on stream. Yeah, I wrote this verse on stream, didn't I? I can't believe that left my head. I think I was struggling so... Was it one of those situations where I think I was struggling so much that I had to go on stream and, like, you know, put myself in front of an audience to be able to write it? This was before the era. We're going to get to the era of Rustage 2023 where I do stream-voted songs. But yeah, I really struggled with this one. And I think it was because I had Beerus contrast verse, and I was like, I don't know what to do because his is so good. I don't know if mine's going to be any good. And honestly, I think it ended up being pretty good. I was very happy with this, especially in the context that I wrote it on stream. But there's some clever lines in there, and I like the way that it sounds with the. So I think that the hook is fun, but it's
if you're
not.
Gonna come with fists, you might quit. Walking up a steps to the vine, they'll be next up to fight, but they know they could do it like this. You don't want to talk to a man like this.
I like the hook. I think it would go well live, but I don't think it's one of the better hooks I've done. And to be honest, the song overall, I can understand, like, from a musical perspective why somebody would listen to this and be like, okay, this is just Rustage. It doesn't do anything different. I think that's the main thing about this song, is this song doesn't do anything different than what I usually do, which isn't always a bad thing. I think it's important to note that you don't have to be, every song you make doesn't have to be this groundbreaking piece of musical genius. Sometimes you just want to make songs because they're fun and people like it and whatever. But if we're sort of ranking them based on how good they are, it doesn't do anything different. I have songs quite similar to this one in the past where it's just a verse and it has a sort of rap hook and whatever. Contrast is incredible, but I don't think it's any higher than an A, which I think is fair. I think there's going to be a lot of A's this year. All right, let's move on to Makima. Now this one's really interesting. Okay, this song is quite similar to my Death Note song from the year before. I really, really like writing from, and lots of people really seem to enjoy the song. I really, really like writing from a sort of morally grey or villainous point of view, where I'm not really writing bars, but I'm essentially doing a character analysis, but through rap. And I was able to work with Sa, who I think is incredible at what she does.
Yeah, there is no puppet aware of its strings. They see a queen, but I'm wearing its skin. You want a choice, don't know where to begin. Let the bird out the cage that I'm tearing its wings. Blood on the right and that's bearing my sins. Teach them to talk, then prepare them to sing. Chain with a nick, they're ensnared with a grin. Because all men are dogs when compared to a king. Money talks, but fear it talks the loudest. Life is raw, there's villains in our houses. Body flaws, you cannot stain the outfit. They can't put their morals where their mouth is. Who needs love?
They can't put their morals where their mouth is such a good line.
Pain is so nostalgic. When we're up, the view is dark and clouded. Taste the blood, the mood is so arousing. Fortune, peace, and water, evil salvage.
I structured this song the same way I did my Madara track from the year before, where it's me and another rapper, but instead of us both having our own verses, we do back and forth, but the back and forth lengths change. So the first verse, it's 8 bars me and then 8 bars her, and then the verse afterwards, I think it's 4 bars, 4 bars, 4 bars, 4 bars. So that way, there's like interest as it goes
better
along.
Girls needs better tools, needs better fools. My finger twirls with you around it. My collars come with jewels around it. My color showing. Let's say they get crushed or on say short-sighted. Mice in the way, I weed out white. Get ice in the street, they freeze. Now know you stumbled on number 1 honey bun. Give them some so dumb and hungry.
And I think she does such a good job complementing the beat as well with her rapping. I think it's incredible. I want to talk about the hook. Because the hook is actually me singing, which is unusual. I do not sing in my tracks because famously, I'm not a very good singer. I don't know how to sing. I'm bad at singing. That's just objective fact. But, and I wrote this hook, and I wrote it to be like, this is what I want it to sound like, but I kind of wanted her to sing it. But it turns out that she wasn't confident with her singing either, which I didn't know. So I ended up being the one so she does singing on it, but she only really wanted to do, if I remember correctly, she only really wanted to do background vocals. She didn't want to do the main stuff. So this bit here where I think I'm rapping, right?
I got the word in my hands.
I have this bit where I'm rapping and there's singing background vocals that are mine. Originally, that was just singing. It was I get my dogs in the leash, I got my word in my hands, oh no. That was the idea, but I ended up, it just sounded bad. So I did the rapping and then had them as the background vocals.
I keep my dogs on a leash, I got the word in my hands. You ain't gonna torture the queen, you cannot fuck with my plans. I'll have you brought to your knees, I'll have you understand. You're taking orders from me, do as I command.
And then for this bit, we did this like singing and then rapping back and forth. But then we just overlaid both of our vocals. And I think it has a really, really good sound to it. I think even though I can't sing, I feel like it still works in a sort of similar to Mojito from the year before, when it's a spooky context.
Even in our death, we are.
And I really liked it in the end. I like the little melody I came up with. When I did it, I just sort of did it off the cuff. It was an off the cuff melody.
Voices, the corpse keep on talking, the stains on the riverbed. Everything that's said is distorted, the deeds are appalling. I've learned how to disconnect. I don't feel regret in the morning, just boredom and yawning and packs full of cigarettes.
I don't feel regret in the morning, just boredom and yawning and packs full of cigarettes. Anyway, it's sick. It's sick.
Queen, you cannot as I command.
Do you know that YouTube does this? When you I sometimes hold down my mouse button just by habit, and I don't know when they added this, but if you hold down the mouse button, it just like fast forwards it. She's spitting. I didn't know that. It always fucks me up. Anyway, this is probably the first S tier of the year. I really liked it, and I was very proud of it when it came out, and I think it did pretty well, so big ups Makima. Chainsaw Man songs are fun. I think I've already done it too. I really do want to do Power, but I don't know if the Chainsaw Man hype has sort of died down, but we'll see. I might still do Power in February at some point. Itachi, this is another song I was really proud of. So, here's a funny story about this song. I wanted to make, because I've done Itachi before, but it was kind of a pretty generic, back in the day, a lot of my Naruto songs were pretty generic. And they were just like Naruto beat and me rapping about facts about the character. But I wanted to make an Itachi rap that more focused on his story and his writing and his character, because I think that he's a really interesting character. So I produced this beat. If you don't know, I produce all my own beats, except for one this year, which we'll get to. So I produced this beat, and I sent it to Jonald, because I was like, hey, Jonald, I want you to sing on this, because I thought he has that sort of poppy-like voice. It would work well. And he said, I think the messages were along the lines of, are you sure that this is an Itachi beat? Or, he was very confused. I want to even see if I could find the exact messages. He says, interesting beat for Itachi. And he doesn't really he thinks that it's like not appropriate for the character. And even after we finished the song, when I saw him I think at NPC, he came up to me and he said something along the lines of, I still don't think that instrumental suited Itachi. And I can't believe it. I absolutely can't believe it, because I just feel like Itachi is such this like tortured character. He's such you know, he is a manufactured villain through a but he's a man that tries to do things for the greater good, but lets his emotions get in the way and causes him to make mistakes. And I don't know. He's also quite a flawed character. I like him anyway.
All of my life is a difference. There is no change to the fate that we're given. I harden my heart with the stains in my vision. Spilling their blood before making them listen. I do what I must and I'm breaking tradition. Cause I paid it crimson. Gone in an instant. Life is war, but I deal with the symptoms on the floor. Now they felt.
The thing is, I tried to strike a balance with this song between the mistake. Okay, there's a lot of mistakes with Itachi because the mistakes could come from lots of different places. The mistake I was talking about is the mistake of leaving Sasuke alive. Obviously, that's a mistake in terms of him trying to execute the plan because he let his emotions get in the way. But you could say that isn't a mistake, and his mistake was not, you know, telling. He tried to protect Sasuke from the truth, but he also wanted to create a weapon to exact revenge on. He felt guilty for his crimes and the punishment. Blah 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 blah. Anyway, I'm not here to give it like a I'm not mentally prepared to give my analytic breakdown of Itachi as a character.
To extinction, nothing more than to help with the mission. I've been drowning in the burdens of commitment, hoping there's a purpose to existence. There is no returning for the victims. Now I'm just a person in the distance.
What I really like to do is write lyrics that make sense of something that, you know, I like these lyrics, but then also the rhymes complement it because it's an Erden to the Itten. Like
the mission, I've been drowning in the burdens of commitment.
Burdens of commitment. Erden to the Itten.
Men hoping there's a purpose to existence.
Purpose to existence.
There is no returning for the
victims.
Now I'm just a person
in the distance. Now I'm just somebody that you used to know. Sorry, but like the ability that there is a trap that people fall into with writing rhymes is they will have things that rhyme really well, but like the lyrics don't make any sense. You're just writing it for it to rhyme. And then there's another trap that people fall into, which is writing lyrics that like these lyrics sound, maybe they don't sound, but like you're getting across a quite important point, but it's just like an end rhyme. Like it doesn't really feel like rap. It feels more like you're just talking at me. And the ability to combine both the complicated rhyme schemes and actually getting across a point and a message is something that I really pride myself in trying to do, and I feel like I pulled it off quite well in this song. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do a bad job, but I think here I did quite a good job pulling that off. And then John does a really good job with the chorus.
I'm in a watery grave, thought we were saved. I got no justice for all of this pain. Time passes by, but it's more of the same. Left behind with no mortal remains. Let it die as we walk to the grave. In my mind like an audio tape. Given time, it all falls into place. See, I'm sorry.
I like it. This is another example. There is a structure that I've started to use a little bit more because I like it. Fuck you. Some people have pointed out that some of my songs are falling into this structure, but where the structure, and I'm going to point it out now, and you'll notice that I really like this first verse, pre-chorus, chorus, second verse,
for the path that I have chosen,
back into the chorus, into the bridge.
It's gone. What can you say to the dead? I don't mind being shunned.
Into a more pulled back version of the pre-chorus.
I feel the breeze of a time long gone, but time can't go backwards.
Into a more intense version of the main chorus. Oh, and then Hala CG's backing vocals are incredible in this. I almost forgot that I had her in this. these little like ad-lib harmonies, I didn't even really ask her to do that. I just wanted her to do backing vocals, and she adds that, and I feel like it completes the song. Anyway, I think this song is another S. I don't think it's better than Makima. I don't know. They're on a similar sort of wavelength. But yeah, that is a structure that you'll notice in a few of my songs. And I, again, personally don't think it's bad to do things that you know work well, because at the end of the day, I am making music for myself. Like I'm making music that I would like to listen to, music that I think is good, and I like songs with that structure. I had songs from before this year with the same structure. I think the Chainsaw Man track was in that structure. I think I think there's a couple of other examples. Rengoku Rap is in that structure. I think that's the iconic one that's in that structure. But I like it. I like it, and I think it makes the song interesting to me. Next song is Batman. This song almost came about, so I've obviously been trying to do more than just anime stuff, because I want to make songs about a variety of things, and I've been trying to do sort of comic book stuff for a little while with a sort of mixed success. I think the Spider-Man one did well, and I really liked my Joker one from last year, but it didn't do as well as I hoped it would. So I wanted to do Batman, because he's a fun character. I like Batman a lot. I actually read quite a lot of Batman comics for this specific track, and I think it was I commented on a Dizzy 8 song like a few months prior to this, saying that I really wanted, because I like his singing a lot, I really wanted to get him on a hook, because oftentimes my favorite sort of collaborations is when I get somebody else on the hook and I do the verses. You'll notice that especially this year I haven't done a lot of getting somebody else on rapping, like on a second verse or something. I used to do that a lot more back in the day. I especially used to do that a lot more when I was uploading weekly and I just didn't have time to write 2 verses, so I'd get someone else to do the second verse. But again, I really like showcasing a variety of different singers on choruses and stuff, and I thought that Dizzy 8's vocal profile matched this style of song.
You might think I'm wrong, I'm trying to do what's right. Can't you see that we at war, and that come with a price? I might come alive through the night, coming from the side, they don't see no light, no, I straddle the line, wrong and right, I might cross the line, if that's gonna save a life, alright.
Part of a line, born in the shadows, the darkness is vibrant, cast him an eye, I'll make him hush, you can't argue with silence.
I have a quite more low-key way of performing in this song.
These villains like Arkham Asylum, light in the sky, then I start to get violent, breaking their bodies like particle science, curtains of night, master scars that I'm hiding, I feel like a prince in the arms of Orion. If you wanna do what is right, call a better man, stringing up a goon in the night when I smell a rat, they wanna square up, I'm running circles round them, they get bossed to the side, parallelogram, make a map.
I really wanted to use the word parallelogram. Yeah.
Kill a man but still draft an obituary. Man's like Alpha, see efficient with delivery. Galaxy, my justice in a differently. Gallery of villains want a piece of me. Fuck you are, you can't hang with the bat. Pull up these pussies like cat in a hat. Choke on the gas like an asthma attack. And you're counting your days like a calendar man. Cool, are you crazy?
I really liked my verses in this. I actually think I did an extra long first verse.
Man is bad. Good with the chest or I handle a rag. Man is so hot that I vanish the capsule and causing these penguins financial collapse.
Man is so hot that I vanish the capsule and causing these penguins financial collapse. It's really good. It's good. It's out of the air Rhymeski. I really liked it.
All my enemies move steep with disorders. Now my hood's red, living deep in the water. Slaughtered, whole bar with no quarter. On the case like I'm Gordon. They two-faced with endorsements. Want to play with this orphan. I'm gonna stage my performance. They don't want to fight me. Acting like I'm Holmes in the street and the crimes.
Yeah. I really liked my verses in this. I really liked it a lot, actually. I'm putting this one high A, I think, because
town is over now. It can be addicted. Look down and see this.
I think it's a high A song. I'm almost thinking, yeah, I think it's a high A. I think overall the song, it's in a similar camp to Beerus, where I think I really do like my verses, but I think the song's sort of measured. It doesn't do anything different. It doesn't have that wow factor to it, but I really, really do like that song a lot in terms of my verses and the vibes of it. So I'm going to put that high A. Now we get to my album release, my collaboration album release with Mr. Maguire, the album time. And if you guys don't know, I did release an album this year called Sword and Sorcery, and it was a project that I wanted to do with Maguire, where we just do a bunch of songs together. And I think it's a sort of mixed bag. I really do like a lot of the songs on there, and we're going to go through them one by one. But first, we're going to talk about Wizard, the music video. This music video was a lot of fun to film. I rented out an entire castle for it, Allington Castle. The woman that I guess like handles all the businesses of the castle seemed very confused about what we were doing. And I got both my parents involved in the music video. So this is my mum, and then the evil wizard is my dad. And then also I have a whole bunch of my friends here as well. The story of this video is me and Maguire and my friends are all wizards that train under... This is the good wizard teacher. And she's like teaching us throughout the video. And as she's teaching us, my friend Irene, she fucking steals her staff using magic and then uses the staff to fucking kill her! And yeah, so my mum dies. This is POV, my mum is dying. My mum's a primary school teacher, by the way. So, you know, heaven forbid, there are going to be people who... students of hers who see her dying. And there I am, I'm very upset. And we have this really fun little scene where we have I like this final battle scene. So we opted to not do any sort of special effects just because it adds so much extra to the pipeline, and because of that but we still wanted like magic fight. We decided to use little streamers and stuff to indicate magic, like it was a stage play. Yeah, us starts to got our little things. I quite like this song. I think this is like a mid or low A to me. This was originally, like, this was the first song I conceived for the album, and I thought it would do okay because I wanted to do songs with a sort of... Pirate King had a title and a sort of theme to it that I felt like appealed to people even if they were not interested in me. Does that make sense? So I wanted to do something similar, so I wanted to do a song called Wizard, because then I could do a thing with a castle. This is a very, wow, what do they call it in Magic the Gathering? Like bottom-up design? Or is it top-down design? Like, a lot of the time, you know, you have an idea for a song, and then the title comes about later, and the music video comes about later. But this is, the video and the song were in my head's, title were in my heads first, and then we just sort of wrote it around that. I kind of just like the idea of wizard, and I think people would see me in a wizard outfit and be like, whoa, this is cool. And I thought that if this did well, that I could do songs in the future that were like Rogue or like other D&D casters of Paladin. I don't think it performed super well. It definitely didn't perform well enough for the money that I put into it, but that's okay. I consider songs like this and projects like this, I call them necessary evil, because evil in terms of like, they're obviously not going to perform as well as my anime stuff, but they are necessary to make, because if you only ever make stuff that is just the one thing all the time, you'll never be able to discover that next thing to find a new audience. I mean, I blew up off Naruto raps, and when I started making Naruto raps, I gave myself a schedule where I would only every other 3 songs would be a Naruto song, and in between I would cover different animes so that I didn't just become the Naruto guy. And this is sort of similar, where I feel like it's important every so often to make a song that isn't anime related, and just for the chance that maybe one day, you know, this didn't blow up, but I could have a music video in the future that does, and that's like a whole new audience and thing to make music about, and also just general happiness in general. I think I have a really fun little scheme in this first verse. Body decompose and put that image on your merch. Meta with my magic. Pen is dripping acid. Oh, that's such a good rhyme scheme. I'm discarding what I need to because there's method to my madness is an incredible line if you're a fan of Magic the Gathering, because in Magic the Gathering there's a mechanic called Madness, which activates whenever it's a card that it's like an alternative casting cost for a card. Like if you've discarded it, you can cast it for cheaper. So I'm discarding what I need to because there's a method to my madness. It's very good, and the fact that it not only is a method to my madness a saying, but the fact that it fits into that rhyme scheme of celestial mechanics. Venom in my rapping, pen is dripping acid. Anyway, we're putting that in A, probably right there. Maybe actually, I'll put it right there. Haley's Comet. I think Haley's Comet might be my favorite song in the album.
Nightfall and I'm calling no memory of you. I fall on your walls that I never got through. And we changed, I know. So please take my call. No problems, just talking. What else can we do?
Sometimes I feel like I'm an awful friend. The weeks go by and I'm counting texts up the...
This is a song about how I feel like I'm an awful friend. The weeks go by and I'm counting texts I've left all on red. So, no, I generally have this. I have most of my friends are people that I haven't spoken to in months because I'm just a terrible person at keeping up, conversations with people. And it doesn't mean I dislike any of them. I think all of them are great. I just oftentimes get into a sort of isolation mindset and just work on music, and I'm not able to properly, give people the attention that they deserve. And oftentimes it's like, when I do, you tell people when I get free time, we can do X and Y. But it's like you tell that to enough people that when you do get free time, you can't choose between all of your friends because it feels like you're putting them in a competition in your mind. So then you just end up not doing anything. It's really tricky. I'm also realizing that I think I probably have talked about this album. I did a stream when this album came out and I talked about a lot of the songs. So I guess I won't go into too much detail about each of them because I have already done that. I will say that Keiru did an incredible job with the cover art here. And I think that this is one of Maguire's better choruses.
I'm just terrible at it, more or less. When I talk, I leave him bored to death. Always rambling about myself, I never known to pause a breath.
I fall on your walls that I never got through. And we changed, I know.
Yeah, it's cool.
Passing stars, lighting up the night and feeling warmth amidst the aftermath. Sometimes it's exhausting to be pressured into heart-to-hearts. The clock will keep on ticking and I can feel us drifting far apart. Need my time for rest and peace, my little bits of brevity, even if we haven't been talking.
Yeah, I like it. Honestly, I think I'm putting this one in S. I think that's an S tier one. Let's go look at Hold Me Down. Hold Me Down is a song about ADHD. So, 2023 was quite an important year for me because it was the year that I got my ADHD diagnosis. It was either the start of... No, it might have been the end of 2022, but it was either the end of 22, the start of 2023. And it's essentially a song about that. And it was such a crazy moment for me because it's where I realized retroactively all of these personality quirks that I had throughout my life were really just symptoms of ADHD that I never really realized. And it's that sort of horrifying reality that I had to face of how much of my personality is actually me and how much of my personality is just ADHD. And then you're sort of grappling with the fact of, this is the thing that's caused me so much distress, and it's not my own sense of laziness, but it's also the thing that has helped me out in a lot of ways. And if I were to do something about it, like get medication for it, am I going to lose the things that am I going to lose who I am as a person and my sense of self? And it's really jarring because I had a conversation with my parents about it where I think it just because they're quite optimistic people, they were saying stuff like, oh, but it's, it's you're so quick-minded because of it, you're able to do all of these sort of things, and they're trying to say like, look on the bright side, but for some reason it makes me feel worse. I don't know, so that's what this song is about.
Sessions, I'm losing myself the time in a myriad of obsessions. No, the pen can be my solace, but fear makes it a weapon. Cause I feel I'm losing presence, I can focus on the now. I can't act like all my brethren, I'm not known to buckle down. Search for answers for my questions and I'm hoping that it's found. I had people getting mad at me for floating in the clouds. I've been thinking way too loud, but I never think it through. Only started on this song cause I got other work to do.
It's true. It's true. I am such an unorganized person, but I do my most creative work when I have other projects that I need to do. There'll be often times where I will produce an entire instrumental because I'm procrastinating on writing something else or planning for D&D or even eating food. Like I will procrastinate on eating if I don't know. It's
my attention like it's breaking news. I've been acting panic but still chilling in the waiting room. I'm sick and tired always.
I think some of my flows a bit clumsy though.
I'm a person, just an image in my brain. All my traits I thought were special are just symptoms on display.
Never got ready. Thank God you're holding me steady. I thought I'm out of my mind to gather my time, stop in my head. I'm frozen in space, all over the place. I need someone to just hold me down.
Cutting up distractions like a hydra, they keep coming back. Unhealthy forms of coping through my brain like it's tolerate.
Same shot.
And his yelling body won't cooperate. Embarrassed by my sentence. There's a big list I'm forgetting.
Yeah.
Same shot.
I like the song. I don't think I'm gonna put it at S because I don't like the mix so much. I think that Maguire's voice, I think he does a really good chorus, but I just don't actually think it meshes well with the instrumental that I made. And I also think that some of my delivery and flow patterns are a little clumsy. I think it's a high A. I think it's definitely a high A for me. I think it's definitely a high A for me. Just from a musicality point of view, I think the message that I'm getting across, I'm really happy about that, and I think it's one of the better songs on the album for that. But I think just musicality-wise. Anyway, we're gonna get to the song that I never want to listen to again, which is Free Fall. So, as you are well aware, I am quite an awkward person, especially when it comes to talking about sexually charged things. And in quite a lot of my music, I don't make sexual references in my songs, especially my personal tracks. I think I maybe have done it once or twice in like a character rap because it makes sense for that character, or I thought of quite a clever bar for it. But I've obviously thought of bars in the past, and I had a document that was full of these essentially just like sexy bars that I never used because I could never feel confident to use them in anything because I don't have that sort of, I don't like look at me, I'm not, I just can't, I mean I just can't do it. But I thought, you know what, I'm gonna make one song, I'm gonna put all the lines into that one song, and I'm just gonna make it my like sexy song. And it came out terribly because it's just so awkward to listen to.
I thought my ground was solid, but you shook me real, yeah.
Flowing like a river, way she give me love, make me big like I'm Clifford. Love it when I'm rough, when I'm with her, love what I give her. Leave her turning blue, now that bird be like Twitter. Cause I'm disrespecting truths where she's never been silent. How she handles me like David and Goliath. Call her one of the hussars with the way that she is riding. She a programmer girl, how she working with my python. Make her gush like the geysers up in ice. Money was asleep.
It just doesn't come naturally to me. It just doesn't come naturally to me. I cannot do this. This is bad. I mean, if I could detach myself from it, maybe it's okay. I think a lot of the lyrics are quite clever, but like the song itself just doesn't have any. It doesn't have any.
Dealing with the tremors cause I'm with her on the beaches like I will never surrender. Make it
I'm talking about Winston fucking Churchill.
rain on a baby like I'm controlling. I think it in the moment, but then
What am I trying to do with my voice?
all up in a basket like a picnic. Can I bring a joy like Nintendo how I switch? Handling her stockings like it's Christmas. Man, I'm so addicted. And she love it when I'm calling her my dear. Dark magician girl, she make my children disappear.
Dog magician girl, she make my children disappear. Okay. It's going in its own little... Okay, next song. Oh, I guess there is a lyric video for it. So, Static is the one song of the album I didn't produce. This was a beat that Maguire had. And also a song that he'd already made. But basically, we wanted a little bit more of a division of labor, so we decided to sort of revamp this. I think...
Give back, I just wanna give back, cause I'm getting sick of running life like a min-max. Ay, making it my goal to be happy. Always have those W's in my mind like a quacksley. Young and I'm scrappy, never in the backseat, cause I'm getting used to being someone with a plan B. Life is a scrapbook, I'll move with the pictures. My zodiac sign says I'm not superstitious, so life gets you down, but I choose.
I've always wanted to make a song like this, so that's why I agreed to do it. Can't Stop is a little bit like this. I really like this sort of upbeat rap style, this like happy. Pineapple Juice is like this.
Be different, so catch me in cafes, I'm viewing the vistas. We're making a new age, go tell the president I got his shoelace.
What was that with the...
New age, go tell the president.
What was that with the subtitle then? My Zodiac... That's not the subtitle for that
Tell
one.
the president I got his shoelace.
Go Tell the President I Got His Shoelace is a reference to good old Tumblr days. Do you guys remember that? Do you guys remember... how to find out that somebody else is a Tumblr user is asking them, hey, I like your shoelace. And then you reply, thanks, I stole them from the president.
It's my creepy animal, 64 zoo lane. Been across the world, but my home is the UK.
My biggest problem with this song, I actually like it. I like the chorus.
I'm unmuggable, and I got an eye shaped like a rugby ball.
That's facts, I do. One of my eyes is slightly rugby ball shaped, I have an astigmatism. But
But I'll be happy being a little more adjustable. Cause we've all got to count efforts with the and hot potatoes. Acting like a... Thank you for a life being despite this whole...
I think my biggest problem with this song, so I'm just skipping through it, is that the chorus is just the same melody over and over again, and it goes on a lot. It's too long. The chorus is too much. There's too much of this exact same melody over and over and over again. And I don't think my lyrics are particularly profound or like clever enough.
Thank you for the time that you give to me. Thank you for
I obviously think the instrumental's cool. I'm just gonna put it low A at the moment, maybe high B. The video's cool though. I think it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's a cool song. I have it. I might adjust it later. Let's listen to My Moment. My Moment is because I've always wanted to make a song about the NBA because I like the NBA. I like basketball. If you didn't know, I'm a man of many hobbies and interests, and basketball is one of them. And actually, a little story about My Moment is that it was originally going to be Megaran and Shofu, and I asked Shofu to do it. I gave him a deadline. He said sure, and then I think I messaged him quite a few times, and he never responded to me closer to that deadline. And the deadline came and went, and he never responded to me. And then I found Dizzy 8, and as I got the verse in from Dizzy 8, Shofu then sent me a message saying, I've got the lyrics written. I'm going to record them, or whatever. And it's like, I don't even mind if you are like late with verses or whatever. You just got to communicate. He just did not communicate with me. If he just sent me a message saying I'm still writing them but I need more time, or if anything like that, then it would have been fine. But because I got like zero communication from him whatsoever, I just assumed he was ghosting me and didn't want to be on the track anymore. So I think I put out a tweet saying, can anyone write a verse about basketball in like 2 days? And Dizzy 8 said yes. And so I got him on the track. And Dizzy 8 did an incredible job. Let's take a listen.
I can tell you that no. This is my time.
Listen, Shofu's a great this is not a personal attack on Shofu. He's a great guy. He apologized for it, and so I'm just explaining what happened.
I'm hoping all of my drive. Now I'm devoted. Now I'm alive.
But I wanted to make a lot of the songs on this album were me wanting to make a certain kind of song that I quite liked, and this was that sort of like, you know, sports anthem upbeat song.
Look at my trajectory, way I'm blazing trails with every push and drive ahead of me. Got money like a max contract, they can't afford the entry fee. I monitor the movements in the picture, how I set the screen. Look for the next maneuver, I got the EU drops like Luger. I learn it up, connect like Ruders, and I go roll up with my shooters. Got more moves than come.
I think the bass does not work in this track. The mix of that is weird.
To talk shit till I get fine. Service like the MCU, they be playing to an empty room.
This is my moment.
cut from every single team. But I kept on, never gave up on my dreams. No cosigns, major recruiters courting me. But I can tell you that nobody wanted more than me. The game is mostly about patience. So you'll shot and you take it to get a position for the follow-up in case you don't make it. It's with confidence.
Yeah, like I said, there are aspects of the song I quite like. I think I fumbled with the beat hard on this one. I think the biggest flaw of this song is my instrumental. I think the drums are too tinny and like they don't have presence. I think that bass doesn't work at all. It's too loud, firstly, and too woom. And the strings are just boring. The whole thing is bad.
You can see us, understand that every chance that I make is made for the people. Yeah, the ones inside the bleachers to show them to go get it.
I mean, I think I could have used those strings better, and I could have recontextualized them better. But like, is it? I think it might be the first B, and I think it's just my production. And like,
I'm on it to the
Never gave up on the way.
This is my time, man. This is my moment.
I'm just put it in B. Yeah. Okay. Let's listen to Devil's Luck. I think Devil's Luck is really good, and it really helps that it's a song about something that I know about. The fact that I'm writing a song about something that I made, right? I felt like being able to have this sort of piratey Celtic fiddle and then mix it with drill.
You don't wanna come for the crew, you got nothing to prove. I'm a Durus, so you get
blocked.
blocked. And I made it have my flocks on the move, line up dots in your dude like Verona is a
Headshot.
Good men, cause we
Rock in the suit. The thing is, I realized as I was writing this, I could say whatever the fuck I wanted about these characters, because then it would just be canon. But there was enough information about these characters that I had created that I was able to just come up with bars. Like, this is like if Oda were to make a rap about One Piece, right? This is like if I can't think of any other fucking manga authors, but it's like if any of them were to make a rap about their own series.
Turning the page, one tick of the checkbox. Knives out, something Doxy would do, cause I'm dealing with
You still had the struggle of making sure it all rhymed and flowed, right? Like, it wasn't like smooth sailing.
venom than hemlock. We blow up more than V going crazy. A whole bunch of clowns we deceive in the Navy. New kind of
I will say, this end bit originally, when I wrote this little end bit, I wrote it to drums. It didn't originally have the beat cut out. Let's go. But with drums, it just sounded bad, and then I decided, what if I just cut the drums out and then did the claps, and I came up with this whole idea, and it to me, it was a really good example of taking a flaw in the song and changing it, small things about it, to end up making it one of the best parts of the song. So now these lyrics work a lot better with this like sort of vibe.
Keep on spinning roulette, we abusing our luck, and we do this ourselves. There's no blue in our blood, cause we riding with William. We making millions, mess with the devils, you mess with the gods.
And this ended up being on Spotify. This ended up being one of my best performing songs of the year, which is insane. I didn't expect this song to do well, because I know I run. For anyone watching this who is not aware, I run 2 Dungeons & Dragons series. I run a One Piece themed one, I run an Isekai themed one, and I know that they have their audiences, but I always consider that audience to be considerably smaller than my main music audience, because most people know me for music. But the thing about the Dungeons & Dragons audience, and it's sort of no offense to my other, is they're a lot more passionate. And when I looked at the statistics for this song on Spotify, it's the average amount of times that somebody streamed this song on Spotify compared to my usual songs was like, I think it was like 16. A person on average would stream this song 16 times, which means like my usual songs is about 5. So that means that it is a smaller group of people that is listening to this song on Spotify, but because they are listening to it a larger amount of times because they're passionate about it, it was one of my better performing songs, and I think that's a really good example of my D&D audience. I mean, a really good example is my card game selling out in 15 minutes. Like, I think there's clearly a passion there that I really, really appreciate, and I'm glad that you guys are enjoying the D&D series despite all of my flaws with running it. Because at the end of the day, I am not a professional DM. I'm not a Matthew Mercer. I'm not a Brennan Lee Mulligan. I started those series as just a guy that has run D&D a few times for his friends and wanted to do a D&D series based in anime universe, and I didn't expect it to become as popular as it is and for people to enjoy it. And at the end of the day, I am still just a guy that, makes mistakes, isn't the best at voices, isn't the best at improv, isn't the best at balancing and making interesting encounters, but everyone enjoys it regardless, and that makes me very happy. This song is definitely an S-tier song. I think Maguire did an incredible job with the chorus. I think it's actually I think it's the best song we've listened to so far in terms of everything about it. And then we got Before Your Eyes. So, Before Your Eyes actually had a couple of changes. The original idea for this song was I wanted to have a song that had a ticking metronome, like a clock, or a piano key that just going dun dun, and I wanted it to be a song where it'd slowly get faster and faster, and I would rap about how it's that idea that when you get older and older and older, your life becomes shorter in terms of your perception of it, because when you're 1 year old, that's 100% of your life. When you're 2 years old, that's 50% of your life. So a year, when you're 3 years old, is 30% of your entire life, and therefore it feels longer. But when you're in your 40s, every year is only a 40th of your life, and therefore each year seems to go by quicker and quicker and quicker in terms of your perception of it until you die. And that was what the song was going to be about. It's going to be about the finite ability, the finality of death, with the clock getting faster and faster and faster and faster until you die. So that sort of transitioned into this. So the song ended up being this I am still talking about the finality of death in here, but I don't have it getting faster because it ended up being really difficult for me to do. And Maguire came up with this idea of having us do a kind of almost, the idea is that it's your life flashing before your eyes. And so all of the songs on this album is kind of representing different aspects of your life. I have things like dealing with friendships with Halley's Comet, friendships and relationships with Halley's Comet. I'm dealing with my own mental well-being with Hold Me Down. I have my hobbies with my moment. You have the positive aspects of life with Static and stuff, and you have the in a way almost every and obviously Free Fall represents the sexual aspects of life, and all of those tracks on the album represent a different aspect of one's particular life, and so having a sort of medley of them play at the end of this track is like your life flashing before your eyes before you die, which is why the song is called Before Your Eyes. God, I hope that makes sense.
We're living and our words are like our melodies, so hear the people singing, a cacophony of noises that will shift with frequent listening. Every person that you know will weave a special kind of thread that will be woven in a tapestry of thoughts within your head, and we will take those different colors, wear them proudly on our chest, become a perfect imperfection of our triumphs and regrets. But our clocks have different settings. There are those who need our help, and the alarms inside our throats will give us cause and means to yell. So the pathways may seem endless and there's more that we can't tell, but if nobody is special, you are free to be yourself.
It's true. I think one of the points I wanted to get across in this song is that your life is your own to live, and that you should have the freedom to live it in whatever way you deem to be to the fullest. Because nobody is special, but that's okay, because when nobody is special, you are free to be whatever you want to be. You don't need to conform to any sort of idea of who you are.
And I will never be the one to go and squander what I have. All the days that I have waited, left to ponder at the map. And though it seems that life will find a way to stop us in our tracks, we keep on working against the clock until our conscience turns to black.
Down another winter, heart done turn.
It was such a pain to fucking mix this song though.
Down another winter, this is my moment. Heart done turn to stone. Down the vote, whiskey fire deliver. That's what I've been on. Send it down like shivers. Travel through the
I want to say you can notice that I do have the clock ticking getting faster here because I'm still trying to do that symbolism of you're about to die. And it starts ticking really, really fast until it's over. And I really like this. Sorry, I was just letting it play though, so you could really get the amalgamation of it. When we first did this, it sounded garbage. And I didn't know what to do because I was so stressed out because he'd sent me all the vocals, we had overlaid them, and it wasn't quite the way that I'd wanted it to be. And it's Hala CG who came to the rescue here. Hala CG is the one that did the orchestral instrumentation under the bottom of that really fills it out and helps it be what it is. So shout out Hala CG. Here's the tricky thing about this song for me though, is that yes, I think it's such a good album ender, and I feel like it has such a good, interesting message to it. It sounds good, but it's almost the payoff for listening to the album, and independently as a song, it's not really a song. Right? It's difficult to rank. And so I kind of just want to put it between S and A as Before Your Eyes. There you go. And I think I have an issue with
Those different colors, wear them proudly.
With the, obviously it's Maguire beatboxing and singing in the background. There's a mix of that I don't think I quite got right, which stops it from being as good as it could be. Anyway, we're back to like my normal songs now. That was my album. I hope you guys liked it. I want to do more collaboration albums like that. I've been talking to Ben Schuler about potentially doing another one, and I kind of want to do one with that same sort of naming style like Sword and Sorcery. I just need to think of something else that works. But anyway, let's listen to Sanji. You know, I'm going to move static down.
Tel un bon cuistot, tous mes bons plats se mangent bien chaud. Tu es de trop, crois-moi, tu es pas si costaud.
So when for a lot of my One Piece tracks specifically, I like the idea of having my choruses be in a different language. So a lot of the One Piece characters are, as Oda would say, they are from different countries in the world. Like Oda has said what countries they would be from, like Brooks from Austria and Sanji's from France and Luffy's from Brazil. So for my Luffy rap, I had Portuguese in there to represent like Luffy being from Brazil, and for this I wanted there to be French because of Sanji being from France. So here it is. This is the French.
La tension monte, direction d'innombrables route vers l'or. Oh.
Hey. Pass me a light and a cig, and I smoke a man down when they talk with the prince. Alright. Put me in a fight with a fish, and I'm serving him brown with a portion of chips. Alright. Man, is so poorly equipped, ain't got the tools to be talking like this. Scum on my hands like we walk to the sink, and they do it so dry, need some sauce on that shit. Send him
or to the ear rhyme scheme go crazy.
man back to the bronze Dante. When I bring Inferno, flambe. Every single step like a shark ray, fast pace, do it like Diablo, jambe. And I get it up with a heart race, club on a queen like a card game. Man in a business suit, but they gon' miss it too when I dance on a man like a swan lake. Cause I do it for a baddie or a goddess, and I know they call me daddy with these.
If you know already, I've done quite a good Sanji verse on the Monster Trio rap, so approaching this song was really difficult for me because this would be the third time I'm writing about Sanji. And when you get to that point, you have to, obviously I can't repeat anything, so I have to come up with new lines for this guy for like the third time and do 2 verses about it. So I was actually quite impressed with how I was still able to do that. Obviously my first ever Sanji rap is
These long legs stay gone, keep on coming at me till they drop dead. Cross check, talk like he be eating but he not fed. Put him in the sea for the content, nonsense. Sweeping up your team with your on deck. God bless, fit him in the chunks that the meat be like brochette. I ain't never do it for the green or a moss head.
Tel un bon cuistot, tous mes bons plats se mangent bien chaud. Tu es de trop, crois-moi, tu es pas si costaud. La tension monte, direction d'innombrables ors route vers l'or. Oh, bon cuistot, tous mes bons plats se mangent bien chaud.
I think the weakest aspect of this song is the melody that I wrote for the chorus. So this is actually a chorus I wrote. And when I wrote it initially, it was quite a simple melody and I was just kind of vibing out. And it just didn't actually end up being... it didn't end up holding water in the way that I wanted it to be. I think the instrumental's good. I think the verse is good. I think he's a good singer, and I think he does a really good job of it. He wrote the lyrics, obviously because I can't write French, but I wrote the melody, and I don't think I did a very good job with writing the melody. And I think that's what keeps it for BS, and I think it's just a solid mid-A tier song. Yeah. Right there. Put it right there. Okay. Let's go to the next one. The next one is Jack the Ripper. So, when Maguire was round in England to film the music video for Wizard, he was at my house and I had just made the instrumental for this, and he wrote and recorded his chorus for this song at my house, like I think the day before we left to go film the Wizard music video. So this was just like on the fly.
Shadow in the night, cleanse me of the blood, pray for moment.
Yeah, but the chill of the fog and the stench of the night. Time to unmask like Jekyll and Hyde. Clapping no junction and cause more disruption in London than general strikes. It's gonna be lacking intelligent life. Tools on my body, I'm dressed at the nines. I be inflating statistics for murder, so they be forgetting the man, but remember the crime.
The air to the eye rhymes here is crazy.
Dark days, they be at the yard looking hard at a mark grave, stringing up a G in the air like a Barclay. See the sharp blade, glitz scarlet to the archway. Want to parlay, but he looked insane like a fan in a football game. So famous that they took the name. How they bringing more destruction than a bakery, a pudding lane.
Because that's where the Great Fire of London started. A bakery and pudding. I like... What's great about this song for me is obviously... The thing about Record of Ragnarok is it's a show about historical figures fighting gods, which is cool in concept. I wasn't actually that big of a fan of the manga. I read the manga. Because the anime obviously wasn't very good because it was animated badly. Hello, Honora. Welcome. We haven't actually gotten to any of the Honora songs yet. But welcome. Thank you so much for the raid. Again, this is unedited, so this is just going to be in the YouTube video that goes up. I hope your raid was good. Welcome. I wasn't that much of a fan of Record of Ragnarok, the manga. Again, I read up to the end of the Jack the Ripper fight before I made this song, right? And at no point during it was I really that interested. And I think it's just because, for me personally, there's no frame of reference for the power of any of the characters that you feel a real disconnect from what's going on. Like, some character will do a big attack and then another character will block it, and everyone will be like, oh my god, I can't believe he blocked that. And you're like, okay, I guess he would. Like, I don't know. They're just people. I don't know if that makes sense. But I wasn't really vibing with it. And when I finished reading it, I almost felt like I didn't even really need to, because they really just fight each other. So I decided this is, honestly, it is a wrap-up Record of Ragnarok, and I do reference Record of Ragnarok stuff. But I'm also just rapping about Jack the Ripper, the actual historical figure in this, which I think is a lot of fun. And so I make a lot of British references, and also like references to the era that he lived in. Like, I cannot Adam and Eve it is a really clever line to me personally, because that's like Cockney rhyming slang for I cannot believe it, which is quite British. But also Adam and Eve are characters in Record of Ragnarok.
One more, but they squeamish. I'm looking right through the weakness. Piss on a dirty, fuck all that gossip, the queen shit. I got smoke like a steamship, they got that smoke like an e-cig. I done them faster than cheap tricks, act like I'm Churchill, I fight on the beaches.
That's the second song this year that I did a Winston Churchill I Fight on the Beaches reference.
Gonna make him choke like a corset mob, looking at the hue of the corpses. Austin, ain't no Olympic game.
Yeah, I like the way I say
prejudice like Jane Austen.
I take pride in my prejudice like Jane Austen is such a fun bar to me.
Wounds in the head like a picture frame. I'm like, Mark is the world like I'm William Blake. I'm literal in my words when I pick your brain. When the last bit of life gonna slip away. Then there were none like a Christie page.
Like the book And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. Also a famous author from that time period.
But no Assassin's Creed, cause my destined kids in factories. Up the racks, I keep that bag on me, not an animal, the whole menagerie. Tragedies like Hamlet scenes, I'm in a different category. A masterpiece, and living bodies white like Chapel Streets, writing rhapsodies.
Like Whitechapel? Okay.
Grand finale as they rive in agony.
Okay.
He's now in mourning.
I don't like, so I do a thing here, and I do it in some songs. I did it in my Chainsaw Man song last year, where I will do a bridge, and then there's the final chorus. And instead of the final chorus being bigger, instead I'm just in the latter half of the final chorus, re-rapping my bridge again over it. And I think it really worked in the Chainsaw Man track. And I think I have another track this year that I do that in, that it works quite. Sorry, I don't know why I've come in today and I have no ability to speak. I've decided, I'm going to speak for like 5 hours about my own music, and I just am not able to conjure words out of my fucking mouth. I do a thing where I rap my own lyrics over the final chorus. I just think in this song in particular, it doesn't sound good. And I think it's because I decided to do this whisper thing and it doesn't work. And I think because originally I did normal rapping over it and it was too much because it was quite low key. So I did the whispering and I did. But I do like the verses, and I do kind of like. This sort of almost falls in the same category as these three songs, where I don't think it's particularly inspired. But I think we're about to get into. Nora just raided me on stream, and we're about to get into a song that has a Nora on it.
Yeah. Press play, looking at me like they're reading red names. I've been going.
So, I think this is one of the songs where I did innovate quite a lot, because I had sort of had a formula with the way that I write my raps, in terms of like, I had a lot of songs around the same sort of BPM, and that instrumentally they were sort of quite similar. The drum patterns were quite similar, but this is a song where I really put the effort into making the instrumental sound quite. The production on this is quite different than what I usually do. It's quite sparse, but in quite a good way. I have this flute that goes through. I have the kick drums, especially in this first bit, just hitting every time there's this bass come in.
From a rookie to a sensei, painted in the colors that be dripping of a wet blade. Checkmate, and so old, you're a dead weight. 10 fade, looking so bold in your breastplate. Next game, I be so.
And there's bigger focus on percussion here as well.
Get paid, killer man, doing so cold like I'm Nestle. I'm emerging center stage. Vital nerves are separate. Life is work, but death.
And I just take my time with it. It's slower. I'm focused more on the delivery and the energy of it.
It's a game, so I'm making quite a stir at Heaven's Gate. When I hit the final world that lever laid, I ain't never seen or heard of second place. And I like the way I'm earning. People say I'm smurfing, make a man unconscious just by looking at my resume.
And I have the horns, the bow, 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 but it's really good. And then obviously Honora does an incredible job with the chorus here. And I like having languages, because Solo Leveling is a Korean manhwa based in Korea. I thought it made sense to have Korean on the chorus, and she does a really good job with this like rap hook. I've actually don't think I've ever had a hook by somebody else that's a rap hook, because usually if I hook by somebody else, it's a singing hook. But this is a rap hook by somebody else, and I think it works really, really well. And I honestly think that this puts this song, this is probably one of my, I'm going to say it's a low S. I think it's a low S. I think the song production's really clean as well. The mixing all comes together really well. I really like it.
All on my own, so go look at my code, cause I made it from scratch.
See, that's, sorry. See, I don't know what that is. Whenever I hold down my mouse button or something, it speeds it up. Which is annoying. Anyway. That is that one. She's spitting. Okay, next one is Daredevil, Spider-Man, Deadpool. So, I love doing UK trio tracks with Schwabity and Conquest. Obviously, they are both better rappers than I am, so it's great for us to be able to get together and do our trio tracks. And we'd done a lot of anime trios in the past, but I thought it would be fun to do a superhero trio. But a lot of superhero trios, there isn't actually that many superhero trios, really. Most of them are like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, right? Or something like that. And then the Avengers is more than just a trio. But I thought there's a sort of thing called the Red Three, which is Daredevil, Spider-Man, Deadpool. And it's a grouping of those three Marvel characters in crossover comics. They do a lot of crossover comics together. And I really liked that. And I felt like we would be able to represent those characters really well. I got to represent Daredevil, who I think is incredible. And I was really proud of the beat for this as well. Because I think like the drums on it are really, and they're different. And I think it's definitely one of our better trio songs.
Yeah. Man, it's a dark day in hell and you don't want to dance with the devil in the moonlight. But behind the bars of the cell, you'll be begging me to leave, not even managing a few nights. Looking to judge my sins, but I sub right in like a feeling, so I do right. Talk about my keys like a true crime, every little quiver in the river.
And our shift who did the video, he drew all of this. He didn't use any like stuff from comics or footage really. He might have done a little bit, but he just drew all of this himself.
Because the tune lines, cause I'm gonna feel the heartbeat and the feelings. Get deep prepared, step into the demon's lair. They can fight with the blind, but it seems unfair. Cause they ain't got the sights, so we speak in pairs. They be seeing foggy, ain't got perceive how I leave a body. Head like the news like a Murdoch, and they ain't too foxy, cause you know they'll read a copy.
Fox News, like Murdoch, Rupert Murdoch. He's called
body. Head like the news like a Murdoch, and they ain't too foxy, cause you know they'll read a copy. Punish it, but I don't need a shoddy. I take a man off the board like it's Pinterest. I turn a king to a princess. Ain't miss a shot like a bullseye, man on the edge of your view like a vignette. Dropping a man like my views and my interest. Putting more facts in the room with an inkjet. This is my opening statement. I break down the law and review the shit in depth. Yeah. Hit so quick, so deadly.
Swing right by, don't forget me. Feel so good like a red tree.
Red three.
Red tree. Red tree.
Red three.
So I wrote this hook. I quite like this hook. We've done a lot of trio hooks, so we've kind of done everything you can kind of do, overlaying rap vocals, overlaying singing vocals, back and forth. But I thought I just liked this idea of this red three, red three, red three, red three. It's a more reserved hook, but I don't think it's any worse for it. And I wrote the line like "feels so good, like a wet dream," and there's a situation when I sent it to them, Schwabity was like, "We cannot have that in the song." And I said, yeah, you could rewrite it if you want to. And ConqueSt ended up not rewriting it and keeping it in, which I think is great.
Man, better clean up the debris.
Excel no spreadsheet. I'm in your head so rent free.
Red three.
Red three. Red three.
Red three.
Damn, being famous sucks. So many man hit my guts. Spend my days chasing crooks, now they all.
Yeah, and I mean, Mark does incredible here.
Pocket punch a pack of punks, a pack it up and go home with broken legs. I got some for everyone, let's so balls of steel, that's Colossus bullets, no popping, locking, but get bodies popping, give tip a tat like funny.
Honestly, you know what? I can't think of a flaw with that song, to be honest. I think it's the best you can really get for the UK trio. I'm putting it low S. I'm putting it low S. And you can't say otherwise. I think a lot of people wouldn't do that. I think but I think it's underrated. So we move on to Ben 10. It's one of those songs where I can't think of a flaw. I don't know why I just clicked on it again. I quite like it. I think it's cool. We move on to Ben 10. So, if you don't know, this was a song that I'm entirely made on stream. We did a vote to see who would win. And Ben 10 was the victor. And I didn't know anything about Ben 10. So I watched a lore video about Ben 10 and then wrote this. Maguire came on, did a chorus for it, and ConqueSt did the second verse. He didn't do his on stream. He actually did his the day after. But I think...
Yeah. Omni tricks, that means I'm packing more than groceries. I'm Xing out these aliens where I'm even leaving Goku beat. Blast them and I overheat, storing brains like dopamine. Leaving them on bread, cause that's exactly how I ghost the Fifth Ranger. I'm mighty morphing them my way. I move like Norton. These people don't like my feedback as if I'm Mike.
I think it's quite good.
23 like I'm Jordan, the way the cannon is balling. Man, I'm Ben 10, and they ain't anyone of importance. My chrome is iridescent, man, I'm a living weapon. I'll be accelerating where I move with quick connections. The void don't teach you lessons, I'm changing state amendments. I keep that metal on my body like my name was Kevin. No gags, so they see stars. Universe, man, I restart.
I think my verse is pretty good, based on things.
Cause it's do or die, you already know it's hero time. I've been spinning up.
I think the instrumental's fun.
New thread of what science can do next. I combined it from two flesh and the size of a
This flow's crazy.
Cycling through pellets of mine and the shoes said and done. Electrifying, man, I'm laughing at it. Never mind the blood shocks, grazing at me, my brain.
But like,
fighting for the planet cause it's do or die, yeah.
Ah, fuck. But I think it's high A. I think it's high A. But now I'm reconsidering Red 3. I think this is a tricky thing for me. I think the Ben 10 song is good. I think it's a hook thing. I think a lot of the times my songs will live or die by the hook. And I really think that the hook of my Ben 10 song is good. I think it's a good vibe. But it doesn't do anything special. I think a lot of my A-tier songs this year are songs that are good, but they don't do anything special to like set them apart or innovate. So I'm gonna put that in high A. Though, speaking of set them apart and innovate, the Doflamingo track. So this is another format I've done a couple of times, but I really quite like, is to have a chorus at the beginning and end, and then just a really long rap verse.
My legion, oh, you will face my wrath. Can't hide those broken pieces. Some string are the ones that are left when you fall apart and fall. You'll rise again, my dear. So fall. You'll rise again, my dear.
Yeah. I pull the strings, I put the crown and the robe on a king. I kept the bird in his cage and I've broken his wings. That they've fallen too deep and they're hoping to sink. Wipe the sweat but they soak to the skin. Run them out but they choke on the sin. Acting righteous but will bend alignment because men do right when they know they can win. Man be hiding, I'm a string composer. Call him mad asylum, I'm the king of joker. Every random island got a whistleblower. Flushing out a royal like a winning poker. Got a panic buy and they can keep composure. Advertising, go and read the brochure. Man, I'm fighting at a mediocre. You got deal with devils when our freeze is over. I've been running out of body bags. They be running when I doff the cap. Poison.
I did a lot of stuff sort of with my voice in this track, like to keep it interesting, and I was really proud of my delivery. Like the delivery sort of oscillates throughout the track. I'm really happy that for this bit I said body bags, doff the cap, really helps accentuate it. The Doflamingo track it's almost like a mixture of like my Light and Makima track where I'm talking about an ideology, but I'm also taking into consideration like interesting lyrics and bars in something like my Joker track or my Sukuna track. And sort of mixing those two worlds together to create this.
Mine's like I be noxious gas, they gon' need my love cause I'm a wanted man. Froggies on me like a monkey Sam. Payday coming like I'm robbing banks. All this talking like they got a plan, they got daddy issues, man. I shot my dad. You don't have the trip like this. Nah. You don't know the shit I did. Nah. You don't have the mind or the wit. Nah. Look at how he crying when he pissed. Nah. You ain't got the name to be talking like this. Man, ain't got a page for boarding my ship. You must be insane if you thought you might live. Ain't got shit to say, I be walking my bitch. I can't believe the audacity. They got no legs like an amputee. I make you smile like you came from the factory. Guess I'm a broker of tragedies. I'm in a whole different category.
I like doing this. When I do have like one long verse, I like it to sort of instrumentally have valleys where it's intense and then it goes low and then it's intense again.
Guess it's the way that it had to be. If you gon' fuck with my life or my salary, then you gon' fuck with the family. Doflamingo, cross her and up or I go for bingo. Businessman and I know the lingo. Flock to the dawn when I show the mink coat. I'm so style, I'm in vogue. Stainless window, clapping twice like I'm praising Shinto. Kids.
I love that line. Clap him twice like I'm praising Shinto. It's so good because like I think if this is it's June. I had just gotten back from Japan when I wrote this, and a lot of Shinto shrines, at least the ones that I saw, I had a little tour guide who showed me around in Shibuya, and he would say that they do that before they pray. They do it like a 2 claps. So that's why I did the clap them twice, like I'm praising Shinto.
The orphan and I made a widow, cause this gen is worse like I'm playing Sinnoh. They gon' hate me.
Listen, it just rhymed. I had to. The worst generation, and then I had to think of the only Pokemon generation that rhymed with the Ito rhyme scheme was Sinnoh. So I don't even think Sinnoh's the worst generation. This is in my Zoro track. I say the worst generation is Sword and Shield. So I'm just gonna continuously say every Pokemon generation's the worst generation to see which ones upset people the most.
Up in force like a ukulele. I run with pirates, but I rep the navy. Got tools at my side like my name was baby. I'm the result of the world that made me. Got no result.
I think Shin does an incredible job with this video. Shin's just really, really good.
Man, your hands are shaky. Way that I talk make a man go crazy. I'm like go boss, gaslight gatekeeper. I've fallen from heaven, the more is.
And then obviously this bit at the end, I think, is the bit that everyone really likes. It's the most replayed, where I just have this run-on, like almost like evangelical speech from Doflamingo.
The question, the court is in session. You can't put a god on a cross and then think that you taught me a lesson. Unfortunate rebels been caught in a war, but I fought in a web and got peasants supporting the laws that were threatened and caused by the minds of a source of deception. Those soldiers are toys that they lord with affection.
Source of deception, these soldiers are toys that they lord with affection is so good. It's so good. I'm not just a man on.
They would dance for amusement. They want to stand for the phantom delusions, but don't understand that demands are illusions.
They want to stand for their phantom delusions, but don't understand that their demands are illusions. Okay. It's so good. It's so good. Sorry. I just think this little section is some of my best writing, full stop. Also, I have that I'm not just a man, I'm a movement. Keep that in mind because it's going to be used later. Anyway, so far, I think the Doflamingo track so far is my best track that we've listened to. It might be my best track of the year. We'll see. Next is The Spot. So, I watched Into the Spider-Verse, and I really enjoyed it. Of course I really enjoyed it. Those movies are incredible. And this was genuinely a moment where I got back and I wasn't planning on making a song about it, but I loved the Spot as a character so much. Like, he's just one of my... The Spot, I was a person who hadn't watched any trailers for the movie. So I knew nothing. I like the Spot as a comic book character. He's already a comic book character I was quite a big fan of. And then when he appeared in the movie, I was so excited. I was so excited. Because he's great. He's great. And I like his story arc in this, which is the fact that he's just some random guy. It's the idea that your actions have consequences in unforetold ways, and the fact that every person in this world is as important as somebody else, and they have their own story and their own feelings and thoughts, and that, like, you know, disregarding that life is and tossing it aside like it's like a joke because it's not a threat is I don't know, it's just such an incredible, like, direction to take a villain, in my opinion. It's so different. It's like the concept of Sonder. I wrote a poem about Sonder when I was a kid. Anyway.
Yeah. Just another blip on the radar, another body in a hole that we gon' dig at the graveyard, another number on a screen that people skip with a spacebar. You cannot look outside yourself if every window is stained glass. I'm not a creature from the dark, just the spaces you're leaving hollow. We got holes inside our hearts that we're hoping that we could swallow. Say we all must play a part whilst ignoring the people's sorrow, cause I wish I had a future I could see for me tomorrow. Rise from a blaze sign, snap hiding in plain sight. This man might be insane, psychopath.
So this is a slower track. I think it's the same BPM as the Ben 10 track. But I just think it has so much grit to it that I love.
Line in the page wide and black cycle of change. I've right in my place, fine and left, right to the wayside, and that's why I'm gonna hate Spider-Man. Now I'm wiping the slate clean. Now the whole night changes dreams. I don't care about fate. We take control of our daydreams. I've been hearing the same cheap talk you give about safety. You've been calling me crazy, but you're the person who made me.
I'm so far just to tear it apart. Guess it's a brand new start. I don't got nothing to lose. I don't got nothing no more. I'm living a life that I didn't choose.
I really like the way this sounds.
They laugh in my face, but I'm gonna prove. He took everything from me. I'll take everything from me.
We've got big designs, bending fate, we twist the lines.
And then I thought it would be a cool idea to switch it up and have the final chorus be faster. Just like, I just like this idea of desperation and the and it's sort of to emulate the Spot's rising power and anxieties.
We're gonna live with empty holes. The This life is so that you've been told, cause I'm about to lose control.
I don't got nothing to lose. I don't got nothing no more. I'm living a life that
And I had to get Ben to re-record his vocals with this section. I think it's the first time that I've had a... Well, no, it's not. I did the Hashira track. You know, actually, I think it was the Hashira track that sort of inspired this. This is the first time in a song of mine that I had just a BPM tempo change. And they're quite difficult to pull off. And I'm really happy with this.
I didn't choose. They laugh in my face, but I'm not thing from you.
It's time to fold. We play your roles, cause we gon' live with
Oh, and then, yeah, I do the thing here where I do my bridge rapping over the final chorus.
See your holes. This life is so that you've been told, cause I'm about to lose control. No time to
It's really interesting because I don't really see any flaws with this song. I think I get the point across well. I think the mix is good. I think it's interesting. But it doesn't... It's so in... I want to see if I can reconcile myself because it's not a big bombastic song. It's not epic. It doesn't wow you. It's kind of got quite a chill vibe to it. It's got quite an interesting message. It's a chill vibe. And so I feel like people listen to this and they're not as immediately impressed psychologically from it, right? Like, even though the writing is just as good and the chorus is good and the mix is good and everything, because it doesn't have that, like, bigness to it that, like, I guess the Doflamingo track does. You just don't really, I don't know. Because I was going to be like, I'll probably put it in A. But no. I mean, I feel like I do a lot better when I compare it to these songs. Because these songs are all good, the writing's solid. That's why they're in A and not in B. But they're sort of missing that spark, that ingenuity that these songs do have. But I feel like this song has that spark and that ingenuity. So you know what? I'm putting it at the bottom of S. I just think it's got a different vibe. It's missing that big playlist spark. And before, when I was thinking about my songs before I came into this, I was going to put that song lower down in terms of my memory of it. But when listening to it again now, I don't know, I feel like I like it. Maybe I'll put it at high A. I might shift it around later. Okay, we're going to the Yami track. This was another one that won a poll. It's actually quite surprising that this one won a poll. This song is just 100% carried by Jonathan Young's incredible singing.
Fall down, keep the metal moving till the blades roar out. Pushing past the limits cause the voice is loud. We stand our ground.
breaking it down like it's particle physics. No matter what, I'm surpassing my limits. Still drawn when you kneel for, like in contrast, I darken the image. On guard, the katana is hitting. Podcast, I ain't answer for critics. Feel more, this a real war, and I stay giving double what Aster is given. Way a man work like an engine. Dropping out bad in my mentions. I'm a slice straight through dimensions.
But I'm gonna be honest with you about this track in particular. When I finished, this is one of the few tracks this year that when I finished it, I thought, it's not one of my best. I wasn't that proud of it. And I think it's just very, and I a lot of you really like it. And I think it's a really interesting, I think Jonathan Young does an incredible part with the chorus. And I actually think Jonathan Young's singing is the best part of this song. I wrote this chorus, just for context. This is a chorus that I wrote. I think the melody is okay. It's not the best. It's pretty generic. But the production on this is really generic to me. I remember I really didn't like my verses at all. I just couldn't think of anything interesting to say about Yami, and I think a lot of my lyrics.
Sharpies, one man fight like an army. They talk big, but don't deal with Yami. I'm so big, so nasty. Instead of pen straight, then they floss, but they see what the card reads. I'ma wet them up like a roll with a hard green.
I think
you don't want to start.
This is probably the best bit. It's bad. I quite like that bit. Actually.
Pioneer, don't need their praise, but it's nice to hear. Cause I got more flow than my diarrhea. Keep tears, midnight. They're just midnights and they kinda weird. Gotta stick with the smoke with the fire.
I mean, like, the thing is, I think my writing has improved so much this year, and it takes me so long to write lyrics now. It takes me so long to write lyrics, and I really struggle with it, but I think on average it has improved. I don't know why the light's gone off. I think this light's just going to be off for the stream. On average, I have just improved in general. So I don't think any of these verses are ever going to be bad, but I think if you compare this song to the rest of the stuff I've done this year, I personally felt like I let myself down. I don't know. People liked it though. I just remembered, and I thought it was a fun song. I just didn't think it was very good or inspired. This to me personally might be a B song for me. For me. Because yeah, you can have a song where you just have fun without needing it to be a massive message or be interesting bars, but I don't know. I almost didn't put out that song because I didn't really like it that much. Anyway, the next song is Pistachio. Now, this is a song I'm going to assume most of you haven't heard.
For green, I mean ice cream, my treat. Since we all be living in a pipe dream. Try me, they be stepping 1 to the 2 to the 3 by 4 when I'm doing it in widescreen. I don't have to worry if they like me, if they acting icy. I ain't never stressing what it might mean. Blood, I keep it sweet, dripping sugar from the ivy. Always roll advantage if it's ever getting dicey. Never gonna make an ad, I don't need it. Now they're gonna claim I'm mad, I won't read it. Shout out to my mum and dad and no secret. I would never be the man with no features.
We stay cool like an ice cream cone. We don't need no rules if we take it slow. Chilling by the pool, make the place like home. We stay sweet and cool like pistachio. We stay cool like an ice cream cone. We don't need no rules if we take it slow. Chilling by the pool, make the place like home. We stay sweet and cool like pistachio.
And I be working when I'm playing, but then playing when I work. Guess I feel a little guilty to be making what I...
Anyway, the story behind this song is I was at TwitchCon with Schwabity and Connor Quest, and we were talking about potential trio reps that we could do if we ever did like a bunch of like random trio tracks for like an album or something. And I said we could do Neapolitan ice cream, which is strawberry, chocolate, and vanilla. But I think we all agreed that we didn't really like chocolate ice cream that much. So I said we could do the classic Neapolitan ice cream, which is pistachio, vanilla. I don't know what it was, but it has pistachio in it, in the classic Neapolitan. And I said, and then I could be pistachio because it's my favorite ice cream. And then Mark said, no, pistachio's my favorite ice cream. There's no way that your favorite ice cream is pistachio. He said, that's how he sounds. And I, we had a proper argument about this because genuinely my entire life, pistachio ice cream has been one of the defining foods for me. It's like, it is pineapple juice and pistachio ice cream. And I couldn't believe that I had been friends with Mark for that long, with Schwabity for that long, that he didn't know this key part of my identity, so much so that he thought I was making it up. And to prove to him, he thought I was just doing it to steal his thing, I guess. To prove to him that pistachio ice cream is my favorite ice cream, and I like it so much that I feel it's a part of my identity, I decided to make a song about pistachio ice cream to sort of be in a similar vein to my song about pineapple juice. And I made that song in a day, I think. Like, I got back from TwitchCon and I made that song, and then I got Echo to make this video for it, and then I put it up, and nobody cared about it, but I really like the song, and I'm gonna just put it in. It's actually quite a high A song for me because it's nice to listen to.
But I grew up in the lobby, I've been waiting for my turn, and I'm happy to be growing, always taking what I learn. I don't wanna be the person they be, I just wanna do what makes me feel.
You know what? I am moving down. Take everything. Retroactively. Okay. Next up, Zeus, Poseidon, Hades. This is another vote we did where we decided to do a trio rap vote when we get on. And Zeus, Poseidon, Hades is actually an incredible one to win. And we have performed this one live, and it is definitely one of our funnest live songs.
Yeah. Zeus, shock 'em with the static I produce. They can't even handle my abuse. Head of 12 Olympians, a family of goons. When I'm smiting like a paladin, the panicking in shoes. Why shake, cause I'm a beast in the sheets. Chief of the grease, eat it up, I feast on the weak. Speed in McQueen, they ain't even reaching the peak. Like I'm fertilizing fields, I'm releasing my seed. How did they Boris?
Sorry, I always forget that whenever I say something like kind of weird, Al Shift always does these question marks in the video. Like in the Goja rap where I said, you know, they're hunting me down like a clitoris. He puts a whole bunch of question marks. I'm releasing my seed, and he's always like, huh?
How did they Boris still leaving them substandard? They can't even swallow them
on them like crackers. Because he fucking cracked his dad's nuts.
Bounce to the mythos found in the scriptures. Proudly the victors drown in the riches. Bounce to the mythos.
Yeah, what's just coming down from Olympus? But you better bow when you witness. It's gonna make us drown in the riches. Bounce to the preachers, bounce to the mythos.
Yeah, it's Big P, not Diddy Master and Punk. Consider this a deep dive into...
I think this is our best trio song, to be honest. Or at least one of our best trio songs. I wrote my verse on stream. I did the production on stream as well, so you guys got to see what went into it, but I really, really like how this turned out. I think both of them did incredible with the verses. I think the hook is really fun. I think it's really up there. I'm going to put it right there. Putting it right there. Yeah, all right. Okay, now we're going to get to what I'm going to think is quite a controversial one, which is Drums of Liberation. This is one of my best performing songs of this year. This is one of my best performing songs, and a lot of people said it's one of their favorites. I don't like it that much. In hindsight, I really...
Sound like God, do it hot and heavy. Way I move like it's Tom and Jerry. Love new fruits cause I popped a cherry. They a bunch of Peters, I'm a horrid Henry. Monster trio, there's a monster medley. Top your goes like I'm on the merry. Bounce right back to the knob to jelly. When I beat a dead horse, do it long like Shelley. More twists and turns than a novelist. Coming in, crash bang, one up like a comic strip.
You know what, I like my verse here. I like my verse here.
Met the devil. One more D like a Netflix special. I get to choose where I set my level. Then I send them home in an empty vessel. Stretch them out like a Netflix pedal. Metal, I got a score.
You won't ever.
I think, so I wrote this chorus. And I think Stupendium, when they do the ad-libby bits, is so good. I think it's perfect. I don't think this chorus melody is very good. I just think that... I think I had a real problem with writing choruses this year. In terms of... like, I think whenever I've written a chorus for someone else to sing, like the Sanji track, or the Yami track, or this track, I think my written choruses are just bad. And I have been good at writing choruses in the past. I just think, you know, sometimes you can't do it. And I think that I gave Stupendium quite a bad chorus to sing, and I don't know. I felt like the thing is, Stupendium doesn't know anything about One Piece, so they couldn't have written anything themselves. But maybe if I got them to write the melody or something, I don't know.
Anything happening, anything we open a minute made and then brother and younger we simply rate it. Watch us even one cause I'm finna rate it, understand.
And I like Peso Pete's verse, but I think that I would have personally preferred the song if I didn't have time. The other thing about this song is it's quite rushed, because I think I was going somewhere and I had to get this song done before I left, or something like that. And I didn't have time to write 2 verses about Luffy, Gear 5 Luffy, 3 verses, because I did the one for DPS. And I needed someone else to do the second verse, and I got Peso Pete on it, because I thought that would be a good idea. And he does a good job on it. But it starts to feel like this song isn't really mine when I have a feature verse, or the second verse, and I have a feature on the chorus. If that makes sense. The man be his ally, his last is I knew a person who could have helped. That, but my point is, the point is I shouldn't have gotten more people on it. That is the opposite of what you would have done. I should have either only had Peso or only had Stupendium, in my opinion.
Know that we're here.
And I have the drums. I struggled so much with the production for this one. Like, I wanted like something cartoonish and fun, and I just couldn't. This was the best I could come up with, but I wasn't 100% happy with the production on this song either.
Finally,
Even when I'm always up and shaking out, I won't ever stop until we make it. Rising to occasion, drums of liberation sound.
I really like this part though. I like the ad libs flowing into each other for the final chorus is really good. Like, that bit's incredible. And my verse I quite like as well. I just don't like the actual main chorus melodies.
beat we hear battling despair and
I don't like the instrumental. So I don't think I could rate it that highly. I think I have to. It's like, it's got elements of an S tier song, right? But it's got elements of a B. So to me, I'm gonna put it in A. I'm just gonna put it in A, around here somewhere. I don't know. And people really like it, and I'm never gonna complain that people. This is my personal tier list of songs, and I ended up being I was quite disappointed with myself, because I felt like I personally could have done better in all my aspects. I could have written a better melody that was less like, it was like two notes. That's shit. That's a shit melody. That's just a bad melody. And I just think the instrumental was it just didn't have what I wanted it to have. My verse was good. I think Peso's verse was good. I think Stupendium did an incredible job with the ad-libs. I think the final chorus is good. But I think overall, there are too many aspects of that song that I just regret not doing better. Especially for Gear 5 Luffy. That I'm just kind of embarrassed of it a little bit. I'm quite, like... I'm embarrassed. Anyway, it's case closed time. So, one of my favorite animes of all time is Detective Conan. Case closed. I love it. I love this manga. It's just fun. Murder mystery cases. I've been reading it ever since I was a kid. I own every single volume. And I think it's great. And nobody knows what it is in the Western world. It's very popular in Japan and in areas of Europe and like South America. I think it's quite popular as well. But it's just not very popular in United States of America, in most English-speaking countries, really. So this obviously did not perform that well, but that's okay because I knew it wouldn't, and it was more of a passion project for me, and because I really wanted to make a song about it. And I knew that the Gear 5 track would at least do decently, so I planned to put these ones to come out next to each other, to sort of like mitigate the potential damages that a Detective Conan rap could do on my channel. However, this is one of the few songs I didn't produce. So it's actually a remix. I really wanted to rap over the Case Closed theme, so God, I wonder if playing this is going to get me this video strikes. You know what? I won't play it. I'll just play my version. But just in case, because this is going to be like a 3-hour video, and if this entire 3-hour video gets demonetized because of a 20-second clip, I'm gonna cry.
do it like case closed. I said the name and then they froze. I put the pieces together, then lay out the facts, tell the truth, I don't make jokes. Do it like case closed. Run for the yups, I gon' lay low. They know that I do it better, cause once you reveals, I got put in this case closed. From the moment they hit the floor, I'm a dog.
I just think the saxophone melody of the Case Closed theme is so iconic, it's so good, I just had to rap over it. And I tried to make a beat out of it and I couldn't do it, but I knew Kiwi is one of the few producers I have worked with in the past. He did my Sasuke beat, I think, and he's a good producer, so I decided to hit him up and say, can you make a beat for this using this sample? And he did an incredible job.
Dog on the kid, how I steal the track. Lines they give to me, keeping tabs, so they spill their lies like a leaky tap. Better peep the math and read the hand. I modulate my voice, but the words always speak the fans, repeating rats. You don't want your secret cracks, but I'll be hitting more goals than a FIFA match. Yeah, way I kick, all the moves like Ran. Rachel ain't got a goon fight back. Painful, I make a dude quite mad. Introduce my plan like I do finance. Say they're an ace, but it suit my hand. Aiming to waste if you shoot like that. Conan Conan, Sherlock Holmes that I quote when you blow down the slope that the truth might stand.
Do it live. Case closed.
I said the name and then they froze. I put the pieces together, then lay out the facts, tell the truth, I don't make jokes. Do it like case closed. Run for the yups, I gon' lay low. They know that I do it better, cause once you reveals, I got put in his case closed. Do it like case closed. I said the name and then they froze.
I think it's a really good song. I don't really see many problems with it. I think it doesn't do anything special. What it is just a really good rap track about case closed. It's the most solidly A-tier song you're really gonna get from me. So we're just gonna slot it in there. I'll bring this one down actually. I'm trying to order them a little bit. It's better than I'm trying to order them a little bit. All right. Next up is Sun Wukong. Now, Sun Wukong is a song that won another poll of mine, and I didn't expect the Sun Wukong to do as well as it did. I think the Sun Wukong track is my second biggest performing song of this year, and it's definitely one of my better ones. My light has stopped working, so you're just going to get my colors from the screen being me, so that's why I'm bright red at the moment. But I really like the beat of this. I think Jono does an incredible job on the chorus.
Every time I touch the mic, this man's getting silly because it's monkey time.
This is one of those songs where I made the beat, Jono sent me his chorus, and I was nervous because I knew that I could fuck this song up if my verses were bad, but I think my verses were alright.
I'm Wukong and a ditty, I'm a funky guy, shape shift, do it tricky, ever customize. It's nothing like the sun, what we brush the side, I run them like I won every monster fight, like what a guy has done to the supper time, cause I'm on more levels like construction sites. Gonna cause a scene in heaven, keep that stick in my body, that's a lethal weapon, and I'm sick of these cause they wanna teach a lesson, they just want immortal, they ain't beating 7, and I send them out these spirits through a deep depression. Grace say I'm equal to the beast they mentioned. 500 years as a brief suspension. Say they get into the bread, it's a yeast infection. I'm losing my liver because I was born from it. Call me a saver, you can't be more honest.
I think the flow is really interesting.
I'm a product of the heavens and earth sent to save you. Outcasted to fade from the devils above.
Anyway, this song has the is the same. We talked about the structure earlier in the stream, in the video. I haven't been pointing it out, but it was in the Itachi song, and it was in I'm not sure, but this song has that structure. I'm gonna just call it the Rengoku structure, where it's my verse, it's the pre-chorus, it's the chorus, it's a verse, it's the chorus, it's my bridge.
Put us in places and give us the roles that they think we deserve. How many
mortals are here that cries to the
demons? It's a more pulled back version of the chorus, and then
I'm a product of the heavens and earth sent to save you. Outcasted to fade from the devils above.
For this one, I actually got extra vocals from Andrea Storm Caden, who I had met at NPC, as she agreed to do backing vocals for this, and she did a really, really good job. I felt like her voice really complimented John Odds here. It was really good. And Echo Motion, I think, is the one who actually did this little animation. So this is a combination effort from Owl Shift and Echo Motion, but I think this little animation specifically is from Echo Motion, and it was really good.
Sent to save you, outcasted to fade from the devils above. I'm a weapon that hurts those that hate you. So praise up to the light of the sun.
Just an incredible song. Honestly, one of my best this year, I'm putting it. It is definitely high S. High S, high S. I think every year I'm going to have that one song that's like that, and I think it's really up there. Juno does a really good job. It's just good. It's a really, really good song. We got a stretch of good songs, because I think the next song is Going for the Kill. Now, this is a very different vibe of a song, but I really like it. So NP he's quite a small artist, but he does some really quite soft and sometimes quite sinister music that's quite good. So shout out NP, because they don't have a lot of listeners. So you should check out NP. But I got them on this track, and they do a really good job with this. Like, it's a unique voice, and I think that they're able to encapsulate this, like, almost it's quite sinister, but quite like.
Give me that money back from the dead and I'm still stuck in parties. Give me that back, give me that funding. Got no job, just a thrill, cause I'm going for the kill,
Hit him with the links when I'm breaking these chains. Put him at the brink with a fatal mistake. Pull up, man, go and pull up, cause I ain't other kings and I'm taking their names. Moving out the same day, I'm playing our game. Cause I'm not a movement.
So originally this song was going to be like the Doflamingo song, where you had the hook, and then I was going to rap, and then you had the hook at the end. But I decided that because part of the hook is like a rap hook anyway, that it's sort of functionally like that, but I have the rap bit of the hook in the center, so you still have that repeat. So it's like a mixture, which I quite like. And then yes, in my Doflamingo track, I say I'm not a man, I'm a movement. But here I say I'm not a movement, I'm merely a man. Because Toadie's quite an interesting character, because he really is just a guy who has a job to do.
I'm not a movement, I'm merely a man. Messing with mutants to feel what I am. Mind the intrusion, I'm clearing a path as a gun will go off without hearing a bang. You need a serious plan, they got nothing to say with a spear in my hand. I got cut to the chase when I'm pierced to the dam. Let the flood wash away all the blood and decay that I smeared on the land. I wolf and they lost sheep, watching how I drop thee. I can be controlled like a hotkey, man so strong but he not me. Red from his neck and then next to his chest if he crossed me. Lay him in the field with the poppies. I ain't gonna deal with a proxy. Stop it like you feel, but ignore what the job be. Watching what I will, draw more like a poppy. Prick getting stored like a cock piece. Fluid and nimble, chopsticks up like a funeral symbol. Mean with the most.
I like chopsticks up like a funeral symbol, because there is that scene where he has the two chopsticks in his bowl, and like in Japanese culture, they put the two chopsticks into a bowl of rice at funerals.
Man so stupid, he's simple. Hug a check off the check and I do it official. When you gamble with death, you're just choosing the pistols. 60 your head and your view is abysmal. Cause I'll be born without luck, but I'm lucky I'm born. Man, I had to tell, but I cut to the core. Pay for the silence with money, control when you're blessed with a curse is a double-edged sword. I leave a sorcerer's blood on the floor. Doubting the flow, but I trusted the source.
It does have that same sort of vibe as like my Light and Makima track, but I just
get him with the links when I'm sing day and playing our game.
I think this is just a vibe that This is just a vibe that I'm quite good at and I quite enjoy, and it's definitely an S tier song here. It's on the sort of same level to me as the Makima track. I'm gonna put it next to it there. Yes, very, very good. I like it. I like it a lot. Unedited Cipher. It's really hard to rank ciphers. But I will say the story behind this cipher is I was at NPC, and the story behind this cipher is specifically I wanted to have a cipher where I could put William from One Piece D&D on the cipher, and have his man be his la, the man be his la be on the cipher as William. I don't even know if he was there when I conceived the idea. No, I messaged him, but so he's not aware of that. I was in the lobby of the hotel. Yeah, because he wouldn't have been there. I was in the lobby of the hotel when I was thinking of the idea, and I thought to myself, oh, it'd be sick to do a Willa D cipher and get his man be his la to do William on it. He was the first person I asked. Just specifically because I knew he was a huge One Piece D&D fan, and he'd be the only person I know who'd be able to rap as a One Piece D&D character, and I just thought that'd be a lot of fun. And obviously, it'd be fun for me because lots of people wouldn't know who that was if they're not aware of my D&D series. But I think overall the cipher's pretty good. Again, it's really difficult to judge ciphers, but I think everyone did a good job here. Yeah. So we just gotta also put this sort of it's just very similar to Marines for me. They're both good. Just both put them there. They're both ciphers. It's hard to rank them. It's like comparing apples to oranges in terms of comparing them to the other songs. But yeah, it's good. It's good. But yeah, I like immediately recruited the people who were around me at the time to be on the cipher. I remember like Xiaodo, for example, was there, and Schwabity and Conquest were there when they had the idea, so I asked them. Anyway, next up is Dr. Doofenshmirtz. This was such a weird track for me this year, because this is another one where I did a lot of the voting streams, but it's a lot of fun, and I'm probably going to do more. I have a few songs lined up for January, February, but maybe sometime later this year I'm going to do another voting stream, because people really enjoyed them, and so far I've had quite a lot of success, with the Zeus and the Sun Wukong and etc. People have been enjoying the the songs I put out because of the votes. And Dr. Doofenshmirtz won, and I had to do a Dr. Doofenshmirtz track. And you can't do a Dr. Doofenshmirtz rap without calling it Rappinator. And I thought it would be a good idea to have both Mari and Peso Piece on this track, because I thought I really wanted to do a kind of more traditional rap track where it's more carried by the verses of different people. And I like it.
Well, I'm putting up with a Rappinator, Rappinator, bring the Rappinator, turn on the machines and then I put my laser. Rappinator, bring the Rappinator, somebody tell Perry that I'll see him later. Enigmatic, they call me Heinz, I be leaving the red like a ketchup packet. And I'm more frantic, I let them have it, blowing them up like a vector graphic. Man, I'm too nimble, setting a trap, I got Perry captive.
And I got two nickels.
Give it up, evil incorporated, that means my crimes are written up. I keep it automated, no why or how's like kilowatt. Busy ball, heavy and I gonna hit the shot. Records on my fingers,
so I'm gonna spin your block. Yeah. I actually have some quid lines in this.
Somebody to Perry.
Let's behold a Rappinator. Bring in a Rappinator. Turn a machine and blast a laser. Come and trap your ass and then. Let's behold a Rappinator. Bring in a Rappinator. Turn a machine and blast a laser. Come and trap your ass and then. Hit a scene with a brand new evilinator. Beef with a big old beam with a laser.
So I thought it was really cool to have Mari do his own take on the hook as well, and then I have Peso Pete do the ad-libs. I felt like it all really came together quite well. It's such a nice, fun song. It's nothing crazy. I don't think it's an S tier. It's probably just... It falls into that same camp as, like, Beerus and the Dark Knight track and that sort of thing, where it's good on all fronts, doesn't do anything crazy. I felt like because I was having so many rappers on the track, and the chorus was one that just repeated, that it felt like the chorus would get boring if every time the chorus comes in, there's something slightly different with it, because it's obviously just me and it's me and Mari, and I felt like it'd be boring if the third time came around it was just the chorus again. So I was like, oh, wait a second, why don't I just have it be cut short by Peso Pete?
Rappinator, bring the Rappinator.
Fuck that! Perry coming, load the Strappinator. Hater, ain't no monogram, we do it major.
And he just goes in and he raps his verse, and then
tell Perry that I'll see him later.
Let's behold a Rappinator. Bring in a Rappinator. Turn a machine.
It's good. I like it. We'll put it in here. It's a good song. All right. Anubis. All right, hear me out. So Anubis came second in the Doofenshmirtz poll, and honestly, secretly during that poll, I really wanted Anubis to win because I thought I could do a really good Anubis track. And then Doofenshmirtz won, so I made the Doofenshmirtz track, and I was a bit sad. I was like, but I really wish I could have done the Anubis one. And then I thought, wait a second, it's my YouTube channel. I could still do the Anubis one, so I did the Anubis one. And this is honestly one of my favorite productions that I've done. I decided to just let it, I put a lot more focus on making the production one of the key parts of this song.
Yeah, they ain't gonna talk when the jackal walks in. It's the underworld, man, you ain't no king. You don't wanna play with me, you can't win. Wade the heart and they drown in sin. They ain't gonna talk when the jackal walks in. Underworld, man, you ain't no king.
And that variation on the hook, this is one of my favorite rap hooks I've ever written. That variation where I do the ain't no king is so good. I really want to perform this one live.
Play with me, you can't win. Wade the heart and then drown in sin. You ain't gonna walk through a trial. You ain't got no guts cause your organs are vials. Losing in the ways cause they're all in the now. Got them all wrapped up in them born with a smile. Lay the tomb and rearrange the idol. Say confuse the read them on recital. Pay your dues and bleed out on the tiles. Wade the truth and what I say and do is final. I don't care about martyrs or tyrants. Ain't even a mark of a papyrus. Money leave them green like a mask of Osiris. They ain't got the heart to be
I like not even a mark of papyrus. Money leave him green like the mask of Osiris is so fucking good. It's so good. This is my best solo track, I think. In terms of a song where it's just entirely me. I did the production, I did the hook, I did the verses. Because a lot of my good songs, honestly, are a little bit carried by other people. You know, the Wukong track's great, but partially because Jono does a really good job singing on it. You know, that's... And there are songs... that I've done solo that are good. I like Can't Stop, Pirate King are also both very good songs that are just entirely me, but honestly, I think this might be my best song that's just me.
Thinking in the heart, book of lost in the silence. Looking to the stars when the dark on the horizon. Guess I gotta start my assignment. Punishing my name, but they ask for my guidance. Right, simplistic, I'm a tip God.
Writing with the hieroglyphics on.
Precision, mind to finish off. Like I eyes to witness.
Something different. Yeah, keep doing that, actually.
Clambering for amulets and bros, but a man is dead, then Anubis is boss. Yeah, they ain't gonna tour when the tracker walks in. Underworld man, you ain't no king.
Oh, it's so good. It's honestly so good. It's honestly, I can't find any flaw with it. I think the hook is good. It's really strong. It's the lyrics and the verses are fast-paced and enjoyable, and the production value is great. I really, really like this song a lot. It's up there for me. It's up there. It's up there. It's in there. Honestly, if I were to create a sort of ad row above that was like S+, like an S+ row, my camera just went, these three are in there. 100% those three are in there. Those are definitely my top songs of the year, in my opinion. In my personal opinion. So, we move on. We move. What came out after Anubis? The Amazing Digital Circus song. I quite really like this one. This was a really good example of another song where I was able to just sort of do almost like a character analysis through point of view of rap, which I really, really like doing. I like writing introspective music about characters and their point of views and stuff. I know a lot of nerdcore artists will use characters to talk about themselves in a sort of, and as some people I think listened to this song and thought I was talking about myself, which I definitely am not. I just really like doing these deep dives into certain characters. And one of the most fun things about writing raps about characters for me is the ability to do that. Is the ability to take their position and the world that they're in and translate it into lyrics. And I feel like it's sometimes quite a waste when people take what is quite an interesting character and then just write about themselves. And in my opinion, I'm like, then you should just write a song about yourself. But like, there's still good songs, like objectively. But I don't really. That's not the way that I approach writing. I like approaching writing like this, like in the Makima track, or like in the Doflamingo track, or the Light track. And this is interesting because it's different. It's a little bit easier where, with Makima, you're rapping a sort of evil point of view. That kind of lends itself to rap more often. But when you're rapping more from not from an evil point of view, but more from like a victim's point of view, it's tricky.
Scrambled and wordless, fate rearranged by the hand of the circus man that they worship. Act like it's perfect, but pain will be coloured by paint that they have on the surface. It's not a game you can challenge in earnest. The set falls away and the camera is whirring. Lines on a page, but the chapter is burning. Keep changing direction, but see that I haven't been turning. Got 5 letters, but I've taken a vow. Try better, it won't change the amount. Nice weather and it's raining the clouds, but the water don't come because the paper run out. I don't control all the words that I say with my mouth. Started with hope, but then laboured in doubt. Destined to float, but then stayed on the ground because they sent us a saint, but then made him a clown. I cannot flee the machine, singing this song and repeating the theme. Singing this song and repeating the theme. Singing this song but not keeping the beat. I'm not keeping the rhythm, there's freedom in dreams. I'm not the person they see me to be. I'll be the melody playing my discordant tones on the music they teach us to.
It's interesting because I really like this. I quite like a lot of my lyrics, and I like that I'm using a lot of language like circus and musical language to get the point across. Like, I like the metaphor of playing a discordant melody over the music that's been written for you as an act of rebellion, because you're still forced to sing, but you might as well sing badly. I really like, they said there's a saint and then made him a clown. Someone said earlier, they glue me together but can't see the pieces are broken is really good. I like a lot of these lines, and I think Honora does a really good job with the chorus. This is written by her.
Lost in the app.
What I really, really like about the chorus is the looping thing that she does, which is entirely her idea. Like having the round, I feel like it's one of those things where they do this in musicals, where you have aspects of the music represent the not just the words themselves, but like aspects of the music tonally that represent the feelings of the characters. And so having this sort of melody in the pre-chorus have this round effect in it, where it's like replaying over itself, helps to emulate that feeling of like anxiety for the main character. It helps to emulate the cyclic nature of the world that they live in, where every day is the same and they're trapped there forever, in a way which is more than just saying it through the lyrics, which is why I think that's really, really powerful.
Lost in the void, like I remember the feeling of joy.
This is another example of when I'm doing my taking the bridge rap and doing it overlaying it. I don't think it quite works. I don't think my bridge rap really works here. I think I should have done something different with the end chorus. I probably should have done something similar to what I did with the spot, where I just had it like speed up or do something interesting instrumentally or something. Me just sort of overlaying my rap over the chorus.
Screaming throughout all the noise. All of my dreams are the best to exploit. Assembled a lie and then men of the choice. There ain't nobody still hearing my voice.
But I still think it's good. It's definitely, I think it's a high A song for me. I think it's a high A song for me. 100%. It's very, very good. All right, let's move on. What is the next one? Copy 2. I want to make a new Kakashi rap. I thought it would be fun. I also think the hook for this, rap hook, is really, really good.
When I come right through and a man go moving to stop me. Copy, they can do what I do, but they don't got the juice.
What I wanted to do with this track is I wanted to do essentially the formula of a lot of my old Naruto tracks, but like perfect it in a way that's like, this is sort of the peak of this formula of rap music. And I really, really like the hook of this track. I think it's upbeat. I think it's fun. I think the instrumental's good.
Copy, and respect these dudes. I got turn another goon to a body. 1, 2, 3, 4. Set a man down if you playing with the gun. Set a man down if you playing with the copy ninja. Got clones in my bag like a pocket mirror. Man act like a gift to your stocking filler. Talk big like bro, you are not a killer. Look at my figures.
I really like that I essentially have counter melodies playing on a guitar and a flute. So you have the dun 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 dun, and the guitar stops, and the flute, and they sort of almost are completing each other's melodies that I really
like. You ain't got the cannon because you're only in the fillers. Got them in the trees, we been moving like gorillas. You ain't never make it what I'm reading, I ain't doing it vanilla. When the sensei talks, ain't no hope to argue. Blindfold swag, do what Gojo can't do. Years of death, I got poke his ass too, and I know more moves than.
Okay, and I'm gonna address the controversy. I did get his Hokage wrong.
He's
the 6th Hokage. I, for some reason, thought he was the 7th. I don't know why I thought he was the 7th, and I didn't double check. And I had written this whole verse based on the fact that he was the 7th Hokage, and he's not. I just made a mistake. And I genuinely, the video was finished, and I was watching it. It had already been done. Song's done. Video's done. Watching it, and I go, fuck. He's not the 7th Hokage, he's the 6th. But I'm rapping so fast, just pretend that I say, no wonder I trained the 7th, you know, and it still works because he did train the 7th Hokage. So you could say, training from another, no wonder I trained the 7th on a hidden weapon. You could just do that.
I'm the 7th on a hidden weapon, killing more children than contraception.
And killing more children than contraception. Bars. Anyway, I think it's a good song. I think it's just solid. It's just solid. I think it's sort of solid in the same way my Case Closed track is solid, so I put it right next to there. King Arthur. Yeah, this one uses the same format as some Wukong and other songs of mine. So this is another winner of a poll, but I couldn't do it straight away because I really wanted Ben Schuler to sing on it, and he had to go on a cruise or something, and I had to wait for him. So I did other songs in the meantime whilst I worked on this. But he did a really good job here, and I use this as an example. So King Arthur's not a real person. He's also a mythological figure. Some people think he's real, though, which is interesting. But a lot of kings and history modeled themselves over the King Arthur. You know, like, it's very typical for, like, people in power to idolize a past person in power. Like Napoleon idolized Alexander the Great, and you have that as a reoccurring theme all throughout history. A lot of English kings idolize themselves over King Arthur. So whenever they would do things, they would say, we want to make things like they were in the King Arthurian times. That's what true English pride is about. And it's interesting that a lot of the characters in the King Arthur stories came about later. So you would have these core components of the fantasy, but then characters like Lancelot is just like a self-insert OC some French guy made. Like 1,000 years later after the original stories were created. So there's King Arthur has he doesn't have like an actual main chronological story. There's just lots of stories about him, and the details are different in all of them. So I thought it would be a really good idea to take that concept of what he represents as a king to the kings of England and just have a rap about kings of England. Because I know a lot about kings of England, and you know what? We'll do a breakdown right here. I'll go down and I'll explain what my lines are. And my fucking camera dies, so we'll go down.
Yeah, Lord of my throne. Men want to talk but get caught in the throat. You cannot walk in the court that I roam. Kingdom drawn for the sword and the stone.
It's a really cool Auto the O rhyme scheme. One of the legends of King Arthur is that he pulled the sword from the stone, and that's what made him king. Another legend is he got the sword from a lady in the lake. I do mention both of them in this song because I do get comments where people have added this part and said, Didn't he get the sword from a lady in the lake? It's like there's a lot of different stories. Mark is saying he already did a breakdown on Schwabados. In that breakdown, he claims that Oliver Cromwell made the Magna Carta, even though those are 400 years apart from each other. So we're going through and giving you the actual facts.
Cast him in red like a yolk to a rose. Pardon my French, that's the conqueror's notes.
So part of my French as the Conqueror's notes is William the Conqueror was French. He was from Normandy. He's considered a lot of the time to be the first king of England. He's at least where we start doing the count. There have been kings of England beforehand, but in terms of like when you consider like William II, William III, is where you start the count. But he's French, and part of my French is an expression that means, I'm being vulgar, so part of my French. But I'm saying part of my French. That's the Conqueror's notes because William the Conqueror. That's the William the Conqueror in me. That's what I'm saying.
Hard to the death because I'm fortunate throws they part with their head like they're Mordred and co.
Mordred is one of the enemies in the King Arthur books, and he got beheaded.
They go look at my test, what I said could happen. Got the crown on my head, that's what men call fashion. Because I angled the East and the West and Saxons better call.
Angled the Anglo-Saxon, angled the East and the Western Saxon. King Arthur is actually he's claimed a lot by like Britons in Anglo-Saxon times. It's interesting how his sort of legend gets molded later on, but in a lot of the original Arthurian, and again, I'm not a historian, so I'm gonna get a couple facts wrong, but the Anglo-Saxons were the villains in a lot of King Arthur stories because he was a Briton. He's like a Welsh legend. So that's sort of what that's in reference to. Is that a lot of people associate him with the Anglo-Saxons, but he's not. St. George is the Dragon Slayer, and King Arthur's last name is Pendragon, so better call St. George because I Pendragon. Originally that line was just better call St. George because I Pendragon, and the flow was really boring, and I changed it up. And I had to add a filler word in there, but
Runs when they get to dragon, my nights in it runs when they get to action. My blade
like the round table.
stay long, how I Edward Shank.
My blade stay long, how I Edward Shankum is just a reference to Edward Longshanks, because he's the hammer of the Scots. He was the guy who like really hated Scottish people for some reason. He's called Edward Longshanks. So my blade stay long, how I Edward Shankum.
I'll deal with the kingpin and red like barons,
like a red baron.
the tower 'cause the different banner.
The princes in the tower under the guise of Richard III when they mysteriously died, but obviously it wasn't just a random death. They were potentially murdered by Richard III, which caused Henry VII to take over the throne after condemning Richard III.
And I'm known for my threats, but still rap in a coat of mail. Got the blows on the Beaufort scale.
A Beaufort scale is a measurement of wind.
Heavy man on the throne is gonna know the tale, and I sit from my cup like the Holy Grail. Let me slow and fail, but no vagabond. Crumble and chose to fail like they Babylon. Now on the token.
Oh yeah, this is a lot of people picked up on this. I considered this a filler line, to be honest, because it rhymed. But Babylon is a city, is an empire, and when the gates of Babylon fell, at least to the Persians, they just gave up. They chose to fail. They just gave up because they knew that they were going to be conquered. I don't know, it might have been the Persians, it might have been someone else, I don't know exactly, but it's quite famous.
On the token mail, ripping the cloak and veil, 'cause every bloke in hell to the gates of Avalon.
To the gates of Avalon. That's where he's from. It's not where he's from Camelot. In my original lyrics, I wrote Canterlot, which is the My Little Pony fucking village, town, city that's based on Camelot. I ended up not using Camelot at all because I couldn't make it work. Because I had a line that was like, my horse gone Canterlots, right? That I had to scrap because I thought that Canterlot was the name of the fucking place when it's not. That's the My Little Pony version. Ben Shooter does a really good job here. But he always does a good job. It's a really good chorus.
Man, stay hot when I drop. They can't get a word. Way that I pound like a sterling.
Like pound coins is pound sterling.
Answer a lot, but they stop when they serving. Man, stay hot when I drop like a Merlin.
Like Merlin wizard
I
stuff.
got a knife for the burning.
Like Joan of Arc. Because Joan of Arc is French and King Arthur hates the French. So I've just wanted to throw in a little Joan of Arc diss in there, I guess.
Blazing the lake where the lady be lurking.
And there we go, blazing the lake where the lady be lurking.
Paving my way through the traitors and vermin. Say what I say cause I make what I'm earning. Excalibur, I keep it drawn like a curtain. Leave me like Beckett but not Henry.
So, I think it's Henry, is it Henry the First or Henry the Second? I can't remember which Henry it is. Do not kill me, I think it might be Henry the Second. But he had a close friend of his called Thomas Becket. And Thomas Becket later became the Archbishop of Canterbury, if I remember correctly. Henry made him the Archbishop of Canterbury because they were friends, and he was like, oh, it would be great. Oftentimes there's quite a lot of tension between the royalty and the church because kings want to have complete domain over their territory, whilst the church is obviously the Pope chooses who the bishops are, etc. And kings are like, I should be able to choose who the bishops are. Anyway, he got the opportunity to choose his archbishop, and he chose this guy called Thomas Becket, and he became archbishop. And the moment he became archbishop, it turns out he was just sort of pretending to be Henry's friend the whole time. He actually really didn't like him that much. So he just started doing shit that Henry didn't like and just caused him so many problems that Henry couldn't do anything about it. Because now he's the Archbishop of Canterbury, he's under the Pope's protection, he can't do anything about it. And Henry had a terrible temper, and during one of his tirades, he said something along the lines of, who will rid me of this Thomas Becket problem? He says angrily. And the next day, or that day, or a couple days later, a bunch of random guys who thought that they could get into the king's favor, just a bunch of guys, found Thomas Becket and just fucking killed him. They just executed him. That's what this painting is about. And Henry was like, oh shit, I'm sorry. It's the equivalent. It's like the medieval equivalent of when a popular YouTuber has a problem with a really small YouTuber, and then all of their fans dogpile them and send them death threats, except for this time they actually kill them. It's like that. That wasn't the intent of the big YouTube, and it wasn't the intent of Henry, but Thomas Becket died, and he had to do a lot of PR to be like, I'm so sorry. But I just sort of vaguely referenced that by saying, I'm going to leave them like Thomas Becket, but not Henry, to say that's what I'm saying. And it's all that sort of knowledge to just, it's quite a basic bar of like, I'm going to murder you.
Harold, I'm keeping my bow steady. Queen of my head like a
Harold Godwinson, keeping his bow steady. Battle of Hastings. Queen of my head like a British penny is one of the rare sex bars you'll see Russ doing. It was just too clever not to pass up. Ethelred the Unready, he's an Anglo-Saxon king. He's pre-William the Conqueror, actually. I'm pretty sure. What's really funny is his name. He was called Ethelred the Unready, but Ethelred meant, at the time, well-informed, and unready meant not well-informed, or something like, ill-advised, or it was something along those lines. So his name was literally well-advised the ill-advised, because I think to be ready is to be advised. It was funny. Funny little medieval joke that they did on him. Magna Carta was signed by King John, because all of his like nobles and barons and dukes, he was a terrible king, and they forced him to agree. It's one of those typical things where throughout English history, sorry that this has become a history lesson in the middle of this ranking stream, but throughout history, a lot of English noblemen would be like, fuck, this king sucks, dude. We gotta get rid of him somehow. And then because they were so entrenched in tradition and religion, they would all be like, but we can't get rid of him, dude. He's the king, right? Like, none of them think maybe we should have an elected official or a democracy or whatever. They just go, he's the king, and God put him there. We don't want to disobey God. Oh, damn, but we've got to do something. Let's make him sign this piece of paper so that he is nicer to us. And that's the best that they could do. But it is the start. What's iconic about the Magna Carta, it's the first time that the king gives away any sort of power to his nobles. First time anything like that is signed. And a few of the kings after him were actually quite good kings. Just King John sucked. Like 400, 500 years later, 1600s, Oliver Cromwell is the start of the British Civil War, where Charles I gets executed by Oliver Cromwell because they rise up and they take over. The problem is Oliver Cromwell then becomes the Lord Protector, and he doesn't call himself a king, but when he dies, his son becomes the next Lord Protector. So how is it different to being a king? And I think at that point, he was so unpopular, they just decided, let's just get rid of him. Let's get King Charles II back. And once King Charles II came back in power, they dug up Oliver Cromwell's corpse and just mutilated it and put his head on a spike, where it stayed over Westminster Abbey for 30 years. Add to my life like it's Monty Python. Conquer through France to the Scottish. Because King Arthur's in that Monty Python sketch. Conquered through France to the Scottish Highlands because allegedly he had conquered all of UK and France. I'm rich in my blood, ain't forgot the lion. Rich in my blood, ain't forgot the lion, because Richard Lionheart, who was famous king, the Crusades. By the night shows I'm non-compliant. Loud as the weak, but the strong is silence. I'm not a god or a tyrant. I'm just a man with a hat that I won in the violence. Anyway, so I obviously have my bridge where I talk about what he means to kings and stuff, and then the actual, so usually I would have like backing vocals come in for the final chorus because I like the way that sounds, but Ben Schuler actually specifically suggested when he wrote the hook that in the final chorus he wanted the backing vocals to come in on the people all sing. And then Nora did an incredible job with those backing vocals. I just really love how their voices complement each other on that. It sounds really good. And at the end of that, I'm probably going to put it low S, I think. I think it goes solidly right there. I think it's, I really like it. I just personally, it's the sort of song that I would really like to listen to. So I'm just going to put it there. Oh, fuck. Is that the end? Did I do it? I think I did it. I think I did them all. Wow. Well, good job. Good for me. I made my tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed that. as a little treat, if you stayed until the end of the stream, I'm going to give you a preview of my song from next week. Yeah. I'm going to give you a preview of my song that's coming out next week. It is another solo Rustis track. I'm just going to play the first, like, chorus.
They wanna talk, but they ain't gonna harm me. Roll right through with the green wasabi. I do a big tsunami. Man, I feel like a kami. Spit so sweet, but the flow umami. They just mad that they late to the party. I do a big tsunami. Man, I feel like a... Tell me they wanna talk, but they ain't gonna harm me. Roll right through with the green wasabi. I do a big tsunami. Man, I feel like a kami. Spit so sweet, but the flow umami. They just mad that they late to the party. I do a big tsunami. Man, I feel like a kami. Yeah, don't deserve the shit in my greatness.
Anyway. There you go. There you go. That's going to be a lot of fun. That comes out next week. I think that's it. Fuck. Thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you guys for being here at the stream. I did my rankings. I hope you guys enjoy it. I think on any other day I could rearrange these songs and they could be different. Yeah. But I think overall it's a semi-successful year. I think next year I'm going to try my best to do things that are different and interesting and try and do some... But I might do some songs that are more comfortable as well. I think it's just important to make what I enjoy and not stress myself out so much, because I was very stressed this year with a lot of stuff, because writing lyrics has become increasingly more and more difficult for me as time goes on. But thank you. Thank you. I'm going to end the recording and then I'm going to thank all the people who subscribed, is what I'm going to do. If you guys want to see next year's stream, come back here, same time next year, probably 2025, 2024. Thank you.